Okay, right. Hopefully it hasn't. Can you hear me? That's the main thing. Can you hear me? I need to make sure everything's working. I'm also not long after spewing. I feel miserable the day, so if I have to bail early, if I have to unstream, that's why. I literally have a pot beside me in case I need to spew. I feel miserable. However, I promised I would be live for this game, so I'm live. I'm not going to have anywhere near as much energy. I hate morning kickoffs. How you doing, Rashi? Nice to see you, man. Yeah, it's on via play, mate. Sorry, your comment just came through there. But we'll run you through the lineups. I'm going to be having to stop talking a lot because the dehydration is bad. But yeah, basically we've got the same kind of approach for Hearts, minus the fact that instead of the, two up front, they've kind of dropped Mackay towards the back. So alright, good. Alright, well, as long as my mic's working, that's the main thing. This one is not going to be a good stream, I'm telling you now, boys. Like, I am dead. But their lineup is Clark, Hill, Civic and Rills. That's pretty much the same kind of back three approach that they took in the last match. Their midfielders are Smith, Grant, Kiermark-Zoglu, Halliday and Kingsley. They've dropped Mackay more or less into a centre forward position, I would call it, with Josh Ginnelly up front. And the rest of our lineup, it's the same formation, same kind of approach, minus obviously the fact that we've rotated our main fullbacks back in for the cup match. Obviously Ed comes back in as well. McGregor holds up centre field with Moy as our right midfielder, or right centre midfielder I should say, sorry. But Askabanovic finally does get his start. A lot of people were talking about if he was going to be able to, convince Postecoglou that he deserves a start over Maeda, Jota in that position, but he's earned his bread and butter over the last match, so that's what we're working with. Askabanovic out left, Furuhashi holds his spot in central, so he'll be hoping for a much more convincing game. Obviously, they didn't have a terrific first half in the league match last time out, and obviously Jota's playing on the wing as well. How you doing, BCR? 1 in 5-2. Sponsor out the day. I would say that usually, Martin, but I'm out for it. Yeah, I sound rough because I'm all with. It's not like drinking or anything like that. It's just the joys of not getting enough sleep. You go when Alistair Johnston braces there, Rashi. That's a good shout, to be fair. I mean, chances are he'll want to, use the extra fitness that obviously Taylor as well. Actually, they'll be wanting to use the extra fitness that they would have saved because Hearts' lineup stayed predominantly the same. It's not changed a lot, admittedly, but obviously Kingsley wasn't on the pitch at the start of the last match, and I don't think Halliday was either, if memory serves correct. So they have made one or two changes, Hearts, but nothing. People showed the lineup was a 4-2-3-1. Oh, let's see, did I just miss out of the corner of my eye? I'm presuming I did. Well, they are lining up on the outside now, so things are probably going to get underway. Another 3-1 will do. Can't think how. Well, he's definitely earned his bread and butter. Like, McGregor's been immense ever since he's became captain. I just realised I never really hanged the benches. Who's on basically the usual suspects, although Hearts are down an extra 2 players for whatever reason. I presume that they will be focusing on doing this game, or at least making the game playable. Like I said, they'll start by doing all of the necessary jazz, come out high, presses high, do all the necessary stuff. How you doing, Skull? Nice to see you. 5-0's your prediction. Well, again, I haven't had a lot of time to really sit and collect my thoughts, but I think for me, I'm going to go. I think Hearts will score. Hearts will always kind of score in these games. This is probably the best chances it does it. So I'm going to. I think it might be another 3-1, although admittedly a lot less more comfortable than the 3-1 at Celtic Park midweek. Callum McGregor leaves. I hope Johnston is captain. It wouldn't go to him. It would go to one of the players that have been in the lineup for a lot longer than that. But they are exchanging handshakes as we go forward now, so we'll just get this city fresh. So until how long am I behind? But hello to everyone that's coming in. I do appreciate it as always. It's always nice when you get a bunch of people in to watch a game that I'm absolutely dead for. But yeah, showing the lineups there. You're not wrong. It's I see Hearts have got like one that is shown as a 3-5-2, but there's a centre 5 dropping in. My prediction 3-1 Russia, that's what I kind of laid my line on. But they've kind of got it as a 4-3-2-1, I see what you mean. But then again, it's because they're overlapping wingers. It's just the way the formation sheet looks. But I can assure you, Skabanovic and Jota will be out on the wings. Holy fuck, I feel like I'm going to spew. Oh, shit. I'll try and hold out as long as I can, and even if I do need to go and, you know, throw up or whatever, then I'll just politely stay out the side of the room. He's raging. He's already been and done his team talks. I've done all that. All that happens before that. Before I even went live, to be honest with you. But Nielsen's just talking about getting one on us today, essentially, getting revenge for Wednesday. Well, in fairness to the boys at Tynecastle, they've packed it out. It's pretty loud as well. 4-1 is a comfortable win today. To be fair, I wouldn't actually say it's the worst prediction in the world, but I think Hearts will score. That's a high possibility, but then again, it actually really depends on how our defenders play, because again, we've got our main fullbacks back for this game, which means we're technically a stronger unit for this one. But why isn't the kick-off thing came up yet? We've kicked off long ago, but I just noticed that when I checked on the screen though. There we go, it should say about a minute or two now. And already the ball's out wide. Good initial press, Taylor has it out from the back early on. Let's see what he does with this. Tries to put some pressure on, doesn't do much. With an early shot and early save actually, to be fair, that was a good inside flick away. And just like the last match, the Hearts goalkeeper was immediately put under pressure, and there could have been one out the gate. And straight from the in, swinger bounces around. It's going to bounce. Had it again. McGregor. It's gone over the bar though. Well, in the first 60 seconds, we've absolutely banged it away. I'm not hungover. I'm actually just disabled and sick. I woke up this morning spewing a lot, but I promised that I would kind of fix things, to be fair. But yeah, no basic stuff there. Hearts will try and clear it out. It's going to bounce around and try and figure out what's necessary here. Johnston's going to play out, and Carter Vickers will stay full chance. He'll opt to go forward. What's going on here? Doesn't really see what's happening. Oh, people off spamming goal. Woofer. I'll follow the play through here. Oh, that's loose from the fucking, what is it, the left back for Hearts there, because Jota's just been let away. Ball in, and it's fucking Aaron Moy. Said it for day one, man. Player of the goddamn season. Make it fucking happen. And Hearts' steadfast, strong, powerful, beautiful, capable defence has just bottled it with inside 2-3 minutes. We learned their mistakes in the last match, and instead of being the ones that go behind in the first 10 minutes, we're the ones that go in front. It's a lovely counter-attack from Jota, although I've got to say, whoever the fuck that was, that Kingsley that got skipped past? made it way too easy for Jota, and Jota just sees 2, 3, 4 Celtic bodies that he can choose. Haskabanovic was there if Moy wasn't. And Moy just hits it hard, hits it with his left foot and puts it high into the net. Nothing the keeper can really do. You have to feel for him because he was superb. Absolutely superb in the last match. But that's the start we needed. 1-0 boys. Even though I might be dying. We're winning. Big pog. But Hearts will immediately try and come forward. Although Janelli can't do much with it, he'll go out for a Hearts throw-in. Good initial play out from the back for them though, but I'll take it back to him, I should say, sorry. Again, my brain's not going to be fully clued in. But like I said, I've been very much appreciating the love and support of recent, so even if I do feel like death, like I said, I will stream for as long as possible until the moment I'm about to pass out. And until that happens, I'll be live. But my throat just keeps closing up if you can't already tell. Well, we know market, we know it's 1-0, Chief. We've already put ourselves ahead. Sean, I think there might be some delay maybe at the stream, I'm not sure. Hearts headed back towards the goalkeeper though from a long ball up the park. Can't find my glasses. Who scored? It was Aaron Moy, mate. Jota assist from outside in the right wing. Although that's something that's already surprised me, to be fair, is the fact that Jota's more or less predominantly a left winger. And inside 2 minutes on the right, he's already popped in an assist. Aye, as Watchalong says, Aaron fucking Moydrich. The second sexiest Australian at Celtic right now. Johnston's been caught out for that one though, yeah, Johnston's fucking has been really caught out for that, just see the replay there. Janelli hacked him, caught him in the ankle. I'm sure that should be a booking, but I think it's being let away with because it's that early in the game. Which is fair enough actually, because Johnston did get right back up. Oh, you're from Canada, that's why I like Alistair Johnston. Well, I mean, I can understand that to be honest with you, but the thing with captains is traditionally it's a national player. I mean, I feel like if McGregor left the now, then it would probably go to like Taylor or Ralston. Ooh, good takedown for them though. But if I had a choice, like if McGregor left at the end of the season, in my head, or at least in my opinion anyway, like, I've already lost my train of thought because here comes Celtic on another attack trying to play it forward, but it's eventually hung up and brought back towards Starfelt. Now he does opt to go forward this time though. Nice, Haskabanovic. Good outside play and they're keeping it up. Well, keeping it pressed very well in the final third actually. Hearts aren't coming out to close their men down like they did in the last match. Hearts are playing the stamina game by the looks of it. They're not willing to throw themselves out the gate because they understood that for the last match they burnt out by like the 70th minute and we were able to just kind of stifle their creativity after it. Clancy's ref, by the way. Aye. I'm not really, again, I've only just kind of tuned into this, but well, that's a start here with everyone. Exactly it, Robbie. Well, there's a random long ball forward, but it just ends up in the hearts of the hands of the Hearts goalkeeper, I should say. The second series ball that played on our team behind me, my header. The sexiest, you mean? Yeah, I can appreciate it. If it gets too much, just call it a day. I'll appreciate and understand. No, listen, I wouldn't have gone live if I was still spewing like I was earlier on. I would have just stayed in bed. I mean, look at me. If it doesn't put it to you right, I have like dehydration issues. My tongue's pure white now, so it's really hard to breathe. But yeah, you can always just like the stream and all that stuff for my suffering. That's one trade-off, I suppose. But for now, Carter Vickers and Starfelt will just kind of want it between them. Ooh, goes back towards Hart, and there should be an option to quick counter, but he holds the ball up instead. I don't really understand that because now Carter Vickers will be put under pressure. Does well to shimmy out wide for his North American partner in crime, Johnston, but the pass is intercepted by Hart, so it'll be a throw-in. What are you watching on? It's on Viaplay, Chief. If you're looking for the like a stream link or something, then all I can recommend are the Facebook fan groups that Celtic have. That's usually where you get the best options for links. But the only one that I would be able to think off the top of my head is like maybe Crick Streams or something. That would be my guess, but I'm just watching it through the normal means. Moy's got it back through here. Tries to dink it forward, doesn't really do much with it though. And plays it safe back to Cotter Vickers, and we'll just kind of build the attack to go again. Trevor Johnston could be even better than ever, which means he could get it. No, I don't disagree. I think Johnston's a wee baller, but if it's anyone, if you were to give me a choice of who's the most captain-like player that's not McGregor, I would say Carter Vickers 100 times out of 100. Johnston's too new to the club to be called a captain, you know what I mean? I mean, look what happened with Al Nassr. They made Ronaldo captain, and then they proceeded to lose 3 of their next 5 games because he didn't understand how the team played or worked. So you need a captain that understands a club, you know what I mean? Jill haven't got a single position that we need to strengthen in, besides the goalkeeper, Chief. Oh, we'll appreciate that, man. That's sweet, mate. Maybe left back. Yeah, no, I do agree with you there, Virtual. I think if we're going to strengthen anywhere, it would probably be handy to get like a decent left back. Although there is, I'm not sure if anyone else has seen it, but there's a clip of this wee kid in Braga going viral right now in their youth setup. What's his name again? It's something like Chusumba, but he's like a Braga's like youth left back, and it's someone who is pretty good at knowing when a player's going to be good. That wee lad has potential. That wee lad does have potential, but again, it's a bit of a niche shout. A more sensible. We need to start think about the future planning for a goalkeeper. Again, we need a young goalkeeper. It would be nice to have a goalkeeper that isn't in his 30s for the first time in like a decade, but having the game on screen would prefer to listen to you, keep on, mate. Oh, I appreciate that, Andy, that's nice. Or did I read that wrong? Order? Oh, fuck, even worse. Sorry, brain cells ain't all there. Don't hate him, but he's no spring chicken. That's the best way to put it, Joe, mate. Like, we've got a solid player there. We've got a decent, backup choice in Hart, but he's not a first team calibre goalkeeper. He's just someone that can come in and cover the job and put the pressure on what should be our main goalkeeper to constantly perform. Otherwise, there's a world class option that can come in and replace him in a Hearts notice. You know what I mean? Can I just keep Joe Hart because he's a... Well, yeah, he is a ton. That's the thing. It's like it's Hart's work ethic and his attitude. I love it, but he's just not suited to fit Celtic's quick counter pressing, counter attacking style of play. You know what I mean? Ain't hating on Joe Hart. Just think for the future, and sometimes he's skeweth in Europe. I think that's probably the best way to put it as well. The thing is, it's all well and good when you're Celtic's goalkeeper, but the main expectation of you as Celtic's goalkeeper is to play well with a defensive system. As Atati has Jota has a half-hearted crack there, but it just comes off the leg. I think Kingsley and just deflects out for Johnston to take a quick throw. But at the end of the day, Hart's a solid goalkeeper that can do a lot of the basics right. But at the end of the day, a lot of this team is youthful. It's all based on quick counter-attacking pressing, and if you're nearing your 40s, it's going to be hard to keep up with. That's why players like Aaron Moy usually will start a game and then be benched the game after, despite him being one of the arguably best players this season. But the one thing that I'm not used to saying as a Celtic fan is that every choice I have for player of the season, oh shit, Moy's actually took that down so well. There might be a second on here, boys. It deflects wide though. Aaron Moy's going to get it back outside for the wide Jota. Every time I go to look towards chat, there has to be something that happens in the final third. Fuck's sake, back towards Haskabanovic. Does well to get that under control. Haven't seen too much of the boy in the early stages, but then again, that's how Haska plays. Just squares it back towards Greg Taylor, and he'll go forward. Tries to find the inside pass. What fan page is it on? Just CSCCs, mate. Like your supporter clubs. Literally, see if you go into YouTube, go into the search bar and just type in Celtic, Hearts v Celtic live stream, and then filter it by new. You'll get like 15, 16 different links if that's anything to you. That's the only thing I can think of, mate. Honestly, I've had a link I'd give you. Another holy glory, Boruc was chicken already, and oh hi, that's exactly what we need. We don't need a goalkeeper that can come in, do a job, and then fuck off in 2 or 3 years like a Fraser Foster or again, what Joe Hart's probably going to do. But we need a goalkeeper that can come in his mid 20s or, you know, like very late 20s at the most, and have a goalkeeper that stays with us for, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 years and becomes like a mainstay of the squad. Let's do throw the ball forward here. This is the first time they've really, I was going to say it's the first time they've won a header up in a final third, but they lost it badly and Celtic will try and cover them up, although that's a really good ball in. Cut out beautifully though for Taylor. He's woke up Taylor for that, obviously for being benched last match, and obviously the fact that Bernabei had a really strong performance as well. That is a beautiful pass up towards fucking Askabanovic, and the pass was just a little bit loose for him trying to find Jota in the overlap and run. Good idea, poor execution. That's the only way you can sum that up, but good effort, lads. Right now we've got at least 2 players behind each first team position person, and we keep the first place. We need that for the goalkeeper. Exactly it. The thing about squad depth is that the more of it you have, the more obvious that things become easier for people to deal with. And obviously if Joe Hart's sitting in that first team spot and doesn't have any pressure on him, then when he has an off day, like, you know, well, I mean, he hasn't had a really bad off day in a long time or anything, but even if you take that Hearts game, he didn't have much to do, it still conceded. That's the only thing we need to fix. Oh, there's just a bit of head rush being played around now. Headers all around the place and it's eventually taken down. Nah, just plays it safe to spread it back towards Starfield. Why am I getting hiccups? I wouldn't mind Liverpool's sub-goalkeeper. Oh, you mean Keller? I love his name. But yeah, no, Kelleher would be a good choice. I've always said the same. We need like an Irish or Scottish goalkeeper that understands what it means to play for the badge, because there's nothing more pleasing as because I mean I used to play 2 positions when I was in Sunday League level or whatever, right? I used to play before my knee went, I was a striker, and then I was put in net because of my height. Now, as a goalkeeper, the one thing that you need is someone that can shout, right? And Joe Hart does that fantastically, right? But the main thing is how quickly you get out to close someone down. That's a big thing about modern football. And tell me, honestly, as a Celtic fan, if you were watching the game right now, how many times have you seen Joe Hart in frame? Keller needs a full-time role. Yeah. Travers or Bazuna. Even that Matt Turner for Arsenal wouldn't be a bad alternative, because again, that's what we're good at doing, taking players that aren't necessarily major starters per se, but can certainly grow into that role. Keller would be somebody for us. Yeah, to be fair, I would take it, but at the end of the day, it's his wages that would kind of undo us, because I'm pretty sure he's on like what 30-40k a week at Liverpool right now as a emergency backup. So if we wanted to sign him, realistically it would have to be a loan with an option to buy kind of situation like we did with Jota. Although not necessarily like we did with Jota, but kind of a deal like that where we take them on loan, see how they play for us, and if they fit our system, yeah, bite the bullet because it'll be worth it. Because I don't think anyone's complained about Jota ever since we've signed him permanently. He's been fucking terrific, and speaking of the boys, trying to put pressure on the back of Kingsley there, but it's cleared towards Ginnelly, headed forward by Carter Vickers though. Halliday heads it forward. Yeah, it's very slowed down football from Hearts now. They're trying to just kind of keep it slow, play it down, don't do anything that's unnecessary or stupid, which is good actually. They're kind of playing like how they did in the opening 10 minutes of the last match they played against us. They're trying to overlap bodies and runs, and that's perfect because Hearts are in behind, by the way, and there could have been 1-1. A better pass in the inside of that box for I'm pretty sure it was Ginnelly that was waiting for it. Oh, and that should be a fucking yellow card. Get the cards out now. Get the card. Oh, wait, I forgot who's on. I forgot who the referee is, to be fair. Nearly 50 people in here watching me suffer in silence. I got to love it, man. But if you're new here, please subscribe. That'd be useful. We're trying to hit 1,000 before the end of the year. That's the goal. That really should have been a yellow card. I'm very pissed off if he doesn't get one. That's 2 back-to-back fouls. But if you are subscribed, you can like the stream, because that gets out there anyway. Any goalies should come in on loan first after the broadcasting. We never know until they're in the team. Exactly. That's because we've got a lot of our main key starters now. We shouldn't realistically have to bring in any major backups or anything like that. So bringing someone in on loan makes sense, because Seagrass deserves a chance when he recovers from injury. Well, yeah, but then he would be like a kind of like what Scott Bain was like when Fraser Forster and Barkas were with us. You'll see him play 1, 2, 3 times a season if you're lucky, but not much more than that. But fucking Mel, they've just wiped out Kyogo. Alright, no, that's a different replay. I just realised it was that fucking double tackle that it's showing again. Really surprised that wasn't a red card. Nonetheless, Hearts go forward. Showing the replay one more time for gets the ball, but very Hearts challenge. They're talking about 30 mil for Keller. Well, yeah, that's case in point then. So there's no way in hell Celtic would ever depart with 30 million for anyone. They wouldn't depart with 30 million to bring Kieran Tierney back, let alone a fucking goalkeeper we don't even know would be good. So bringing him in on loan would make more sense. Bazzuno's a more respectable decision because he's worth about 12, 13 million, which I know still is very high for a goalkeeper. But if you want to get somewhere in the game of football, you got to spend money to make it, and especially in, you know, teams like Celtic. We could realistically just rely off our youth academy, because yeah, we've got players like Obiemi and Clark that can come in from the youth setup, but it's not going to fucking matter. Going for a cricket score today. Well, I respect the confidence, Renegade. We have started very well. I mean, the opening 20 minutes have been all us, essentially. Hearts haven't done shit. They've had 1 or 2 pressing moments, I should say. Speaking of that, there's some pressing there from Atati on Kingsley. He's just kind of wobbles it back and fucks it magically. That's incredible. No, neither Irish Celtic fans playing for us. I don't see what's wrong with it. Eventually you're bound to hit gold if you dig long enough, you know what I mean? Sure, we've hit shite in Duffy and McCarthy recently, but the difference is they were old. Bazzuno is early 20s. How old is Bazzuno actually? Is he like 21, 22? I think he's 22. No, in fact, he has to be younger. I don't know how old the boy is, but nonetheless, I've got a game to focus on, so kind of thingy to and fro. Starting to feel less and less. No, not virtual. I know you don't need to bring the names to me. They're on the inside of my eyelids when I fucking close my eyes. They haunt my dreams. That should not be the qualification. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Shane. McGregor's just kind of tracked down another Hearts player, so they're... What's happened here? Halliday just gets fucking clotheslined by McGregor, to be fair. Just a little reminder that even if you don't play for Rangers anymore, you're still a Rangers player to McGregor, therefore you will be killed. Although in fairness, he hasn't done any, he hasn't tried to VAR it for a red card or anything and beaten, so fair play to him. He just told them, look, don't do that again, fuck off, no yellow card as well, so it's very similar to Ginelli's challenge. Should have been a yellow, but nothing given. Fair enough, actually, I respect that. Can I screen you? Well, here is Hearts, his first major set-piece chance of the game, and it deflects about the place, and Hearts... No, oh my fucking god, they should have equalised. Joe Hart has pulled off a wonder save. Although, he's screaming at the Hearts players now, and now he's screaming at the referee. Do not do anything stupid. What a save for Joe Hart. We were just talking about how he isn't under a lot of pressure a lot of the time. That was an under pressure situation. And what a fucking save it is, because he throws himself at that. The ball comes out, Ginnelli's on in the chase to try and get to the ball first, but he just swipes his hand at it, just to get anything away on it. He gets absolutely clattered by... Oh my fucking god. Fair play. Actually fair play. Here's a fucking corner kick chance though. I cannot take my eyes off the side of this until I'm 100% sure I can breathe. But that was nearly a brilliant goal for Hearts, in fairness. The play was just simple, right down the right hand side. Beautiful cut across in. Some deflected balls and shot right into Joe Hart's lower hand left, and he's still just... Like we said, he might not be a spring chicken anymore, but he is a reliable boy at the best of times, and that's an example of it. There's another ball in for Hearts though. It's going to deflect. I just realised that is a tongue twister in itself. Hearts saves for Hearts. No. But Halliday's trying to be a trickster, so Taylor's just going to stand in place and win the ball back somehow. Incredible. All he said was should keep him. Look, I'm not saying we should throw Hart out to the Wolves. I certainly don't. I love Joe Hart. Oh, fuck off. Then he'll have another chance. Cleared away, I think, this time by Starfelt. This time it's going out towards... I just love how Hart screams at everyone. That was the best part. He stood up, realised that he couldn't scream at the player, so he just turned to the referee and started screaming at him instead. And fair enough, by the way, because if the player came in and he held her, there's a chance that Hart would have had a broken wrist there. But then again, it was kind of Hart's fault too, because he puts his hand out to swipe the ball away. You know what I mean? It's an honest 50, that's what you'd call that. But definitely a sole one for him. Throw in for Hearts on the edge of the box. They have woke up though. Here's a long range shot for Halliday, but it's also a long way off target. Or was that Michael Smith? Was it Smith? Well, was Smith at the edge of the box? Fair enough. Well, it was wide, nowhere near it. But yeah, right as I was saying, Hearts have done nothing over the course of this game. They've literally just pieced together 2 or 3 decent back-to-back chances. Because Joe wanted a free kick, yeah, flash. That makes a lot of sense actually, to be fair. But then again, he put his arm in for it, so... Jota's got it out on the far right hand side though. Kyogo does actually really well to keep that under control. Out wide for Italian. Exchanges a 1-2 between Moyet's in behind. Can there be something on here? Oh, that's a perfect ball across, but Jota's not there. Hit across again by Taylor. Then Kyogo. Then Italian, and then it deflects after the goalkeeper, to be fair, but it's been pulled back, I think, for offside on the initial... or maybe not the initial, but the second crossing. Yeah, in fairness, actually, it is offside. No, wait, actually, it's not. I thought it was for the Kyogo's run, but Atati was the one that ran to it, and he was definitely onside. It didn't lead to anything, so it's not as if it's like a denial or an obvious goal scoring opportunity or anything of that sort, but still pretty cringe, not gonna lie. Yeah. Hearts fans make me think some folk about Trainspotting was a documentary. To be fair, mate, it's this thing. You have 2 sides of Edinburgh. You have the posh side, and then you have the Hearts fans. Ball forward though. Headed up. But clear the way. It should be a throw-in for Celtic, and oh fuck me, the Hearts fans are really trying to make noise over anything. I'm going to try and smoke a bit. If I instantly spew or whatever, then that would actually be kind of funny because I deserve it. But how you doing, Jordan? Nice to see you, Chief. Nice to see you. Are you enjoying watching me literally suffer? Jordan can vouch for how ill I am most of the time. But it's nice to see you, man. How you doing? Otherwise, it's pissing out on the day. It probably will, mate, now that we've scored as well, Virtual, because realistically, it means that if it's like 2-0, 80th minute, they just need to fall over in the box, they'll get a penalty or some shit. But McGregor's done a really good run forward and played a really good ball through, and I'll tell you what, McGregor was just an inch away from playing the nearly really playing the perfect pass. It was fucking lovely feat for McGregor to get away for the initial challenge for Kingsley too. That boy is getting their arsehole ripped right out of him. Kingsley needs to figure it out because he's getting stretched every time it goes out towards that kind of Celtic right hand side. Clark's going to punt it forward though. Although he is one player that I will say is a genuinely solid goalkeeper, like Xander Clark. I think he's a really good player. Like, it was the same, like, right now is how I look at him, like Seagus. He hung over to fuck, that does not surprise me in the slightest, mate. You said you were going to that mad comedy show thing, weren't you? How was that? Is that why you were hungover? Did they hypnotise you and force you to drink? Taylor's got it out on the left hand side though. Let's see what he's going to do with this. Goes long, trying to find Haskabanovic. Doesn't quite do so, although Haska does really well to rally back to win that. Now Atati's darting forward and keeps the ball moving on the deck. That's beautiful feet for McGregor. Spreads it to Johnston, who's going to try and find Jota. They do, and Atati, that's a loose ball though. First loose pass I've seen for him in about fucking 16 years. Jota Travell outside to the... Oh, beautiful for Taylor to keep that under control. Ball in behind. There should be another chance here for Celtic to flex wide. And I thought it would go out for a Celtic corner kick, but the Hearts player does again very well to keep it in play. Punts it just long to get it back to Starfelt, but we're going to go again. Carter Vickers. Quick shift to Johnston, who in turn just plays it through the middle with a good kind of cut pass. Loose one for Starfelt, but again Taylor's not going to worry about that too much. Got cancelled, so just got rat-horsed. I respect that, to be fair. When's the draw? It will be on tomorrow afternoon, I would imagine, after the Rangers and Wraith games. But this is one of the first cup matches of the weekend. You know what I find hilarious? Both Hearts goalkeepers, a captain and vice captain. Yeah, I mean, Craig Gordon's obviously still out and injured now, but he was obviously in the commentary box talking, which is good to see, by the way, because I think Craig Gordon would be a very good pundit after he retires, because he just seems like that type of bloke that you could just vibe. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, are they the only team in Europe that has that, where both the goalkeepers are captains? Because usually you have a vice captain that's on the team with you. Like, I know in Celtic's lineup it's McGregor and, or well, at least before it was McGregor and Juranovic. Now it's McGregor and Vickers, isn't it? So still, Craig makes a quicker recovery than it seems. Love Craig, and he was classy. Yeah, no, he's genuinely just a classy dude, so he deserves it. So I'm going to jump on, but I'll pop in and out. No problem at all, mate. No problem at all. If you need me, just hit me up, man. But it's nice to pop in. I love that. Carter Vickers has got it. Go back a bit, the disclaimer. VOD, you wake up and choose violence every match day, and I fucking love it, mate. That's a truck driving past my house. Out wide for Johnston. Let's see what he's going to do with this. Hopes to go inside. Doesn't. That's very good. Very good, highly impressive thoughts. I just had to hold my tongue there because they were pressing high up, 4 against 4 there. Although some nice intricate play for Celtic. It doesn't lead to anything, but just to get out of that space, that kind of compressed area. Another long ball forward, followed by another long ball forward, followed by a block. Seems to be about right. I've tried to claim it's a Hearts throw-in, despite it clearly coming off a Hearts player. Interesting. Your apparently Barkas is playing out his skin. Oh, how you doing, Chateau? Nice to see you back as well. There's always the familiar faces that pop back, man. I love to see that. But yeah, I haven't, again, obviously looked too much into Barkas, but I think it was just because he wasn't expecting Celtic to be so high pressure. Like, when you're from abroad and you hear about Celtic, you think of the olden, like, or at least 20, 30 years ago Celtic, like that team that was gritty underdogs that would always seem to beat the big ones. But nowadays, people look at Celtic as a stepping stone club, which is just a sad thing to say because that is true. That's like we made ourselves that way. But my counterpoint is that obviously we're still a more than massive club fan base wise, so when a fan base turns on you, it's just impossible to shake it off, and I think that's what happened to Valkas. One too many bad performances, and it just rocked his confidence and kind of rocked him off the boat as a whole in turn. So, look, as long as he's improving as a player and he's bettered himself, then fair fucks to him, I can't complain. All the power to him, but it just makes you wonder if he could play like that then. Oh, like Karius is that Karius is too right as well. Well, yeah, he played. It was last. I only seen him playing that Carabao Cup final against Man United, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. He's fourth in the Eredivisie for clean sheets. Although, to be fair, Flash, one thing you need. Oh fuck! I just turned around and attacked. He just missed a sitter, or at least it looked like a sitter. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to need to focus up, man, because again, it happens every time I get drawn into chat. Out wide for Kyogo, bounces around. What's happening here? Moy, do something. Opts to go back for Carter Vickers. You've got Johnston posted on that high right. Basically, as a sweeper fucking winger right now. Taylor, quick infield pass, and it's just stifled away quickly from Atati back to Starfelt. 1-2 exchange. He just sells his man a dream to get past him, and it's out wide for Askabanovic, who, to be fair, admittedly I've not seen too much of. Although he's done really well to get the ball under control here. It's out to the edge of the box, and Atati, rather than going across it, goes around the outside of it towards Johnston. In turn plays a quick ball in behind. Aaron Moy tries the overlap pass. And Johnston gets taken down, but the ball was a beautiful one. Fair play to Johnston for throwing himself into that. Oh, to be fair, for the ones that are talking about the Eredivisie in this one, it's one of the most close leagues in terms of a title race right now. Let's see what happens here. Long ball forward. Finds Aaron Moy. He's more or less playing as a cam at this point. Back out wide for Atati. Askabanovic. What's he going to do with it? Shifts it in. Moy has a bit of time and space, but not enough to take a shot. Does anyway, but it's going to deflect. Lands at Halliday's feet, and it's just punted clear. They've got 4 or 5 bodies in the box at any given stage in time now. Yeah, I mean, there was some shouts for penalty, but I don't think it is, to be fully honest with you. And it was, yeah, that Hatati chance really should have been too. Oh, okay, I thought Starfelt had bottled it big time there, but thankfully Carter Vickers just covered the run. Taylor. Going to have to play out from the back, and they do. That is a lovely touch from Aaron Moy, and that breaks Hatati clean free. And it's a 4-on-3. 4-on-4 now. Ball in behind for Kyogo, but he can't keep the ball under control. But that breakaway play, and again, I'll say this time and time again, how many fucking seasons have we gone where a defender is our best player, or an attacker is... This is the first season I have seen in my entire life where I can definitively say, no matter what, the best part of our team is our midfield. Unfucking doubtably, just on that counter-attack alone, because Moy's play on pass to Atati was superb. The pass into Kyogo was superb, but the first touch just lacked the ability to just calm it down enough. I'm not going to sit and shit on Kyogo for that, because it was whipped in with a lot of pace into his weaker foot, but you know, if you're paid the better part of 25-30 grand a week to control a ball, you better control a ball better than that. Taylor's got it on the outside from, well, in their final third-ish for a throw-in. So I realise that's probably still a wee bit loud. I don't know, tad more. But all things considered, 40 odd minutes, well, not quite 40 odd minutes, we're about a minute or two behind, but if you want a rough idea of where I am right now, just going on to the 37th minute. Although, Flash, if you're still in chat, Chief, do you want to come in for the half-time team talk so you can take the burden off me a little bit? Also, by the way, for those that aren't, I'm going to plug, but it's not me this time, although do that if you want to, if you're new. My boy Dylan, or Flash, he was alive for, what was it, 13 odd hours yesterday. So, yeah, if you want to see him doing more shit like that, please go and follow him. I've said it, I want to see him hit 320. So if you're new here and you don't have a Twitch, fair enough, I'm not expecting you to go over, but if you do, please consider it, it'd be lovely. Kyogo's going to try and win the ball back up here. Oof, I was stopped in my tracks there because it was not a good pass. Civic plays it back and just punts it long, and I'll tell you what, he's onside, Halliday, and it's a shot. Was that Ginelli on the run? I'm not sure. I'll wait until it is Ginelli, never mind, but the flags came up now, because I was going to say it didn't look necessarily like a clean onside, but very unlucky to be fair. If he just kind of held his body straight in that situation, that's a goal every day of the week. Or at least not a goal, but a good run in behind. Like I said, the only chance Hearts have really carved out for himself was that gilt-edged one that Joe Hart managed to push off the line by the scruff of his fingers. But here's a ball over for Joe, and he's got time. Ball across. And I tell you what, Smith had to get a touch on that, or what? I keep seeing it. Is that Civic? Yeah, that one's Civic. He does well to get in front and caught that one out. I think there was a good inside run from Kyogo coming in there. Although again, it would be hard to tell if Jota was offside, because that's very similar to the run Ginelli just did. However, that is a corner kick for us. Awesome, that lot are the only two Premier sides left in the cup. Yeah, that's right, because Inverness won against Kilmarnock yesterday, didn't they? Which, fair play to Inverness, by the way. If you're for Inverness, get yourself around their fucking blows, because that shit's pretty impressive into the Final Four. But you just know Inverness are there so that Rangers can get drawn against them. Watch it happen. We've not had an easy game at all en route here, so I say that, but we had Morton, I guess, but that's Morton. It's not exactly hard. Although again, I do always love the support in these streams, boys, because, well, I mean, it's a midday kick-off on a Saturday where I'd say at least a solid third of the chat is hungover. I'm dead inside, I feel awful. And yet we're still having people popping in and say all of that. I desperately want my Rafe Rovers in the semis. I would love that. We need a story like that again, man. Like, oh, okay, I was about to say Hearts actually managed to do well to get up into a final third there, but just not the pass that he was looking for, although Moy nearly took a wild one and got caught out there, although shifts it to McGregor and McGregor calmly dispenses it straight back out towards Jota. Oh, this is helping actually. It's not going to be hard that coming in front of that pace with his cow flip. Honestly, God, you need to become a youth manager just so that you can drill that into people. You're like a Roy Kent in the comment section, aren't you? Alright, look, you cunt. That's essentially your entire persona. Oh, Hearts do really well to break past Kyogo there, although we tried to do a bit too much. Although it's found his man somehow. Smith is on the right hand side. The old dog's learning new tricks, it seems, because he's posted on that high wing. Kingsley. Halliday gets wiped. Both of them get wiped, and they're both down. It's definitely one of those ones where they both just kind of catch each other with their loose end of the studs there. Both back up on their feet and going though. I love how they got Japanese writing on the side of the boats, like the sponsortisement boards now, because there's a lot of people from Japan and all that watching these games. It's going to be a throw in for Hearts though. We've only got a few minutes until half time, so that's not too bad for a lot of reasons. The important thing is that we're going to half time with at least an advantage. It came very early on, that's probably the only surprising aspect of it. We have been the better team for pretty much the entire half. Besides, like I said, Hearts have had one or two half chances, but that one major chance that Hart managed to push off the line genuinely has my respect for that. Because like I said, the biggest problem with Hart is that he'll never really face too many chances, but he'll always concede. And then he proceeds to pull off one of the best saves I've seen this season, so realistically, fair play. Shut me up, and I respect that very much. I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. Out wide for Johnston though, and he can start a Celtic counter. Let's see what he does with that. Opts to just kind of lay low from now, yeah. Eventually chooses Jota, and that's a good dummy run for Hatate for Kyogo, although it's beautifully intercepted by Sibbald. And forward come Hearts, and there's a long ball into the back end, although Carter Vickers wouldn't lose that if he was offered 10 million quid to do so. And there's a back stick challenge, I think, from Halliday. Came in with some force, but really just bundled his man over. That's all he could do. He took Johnston's ass to the face as well, so that's kind of funny. But it's out wide for Taylor on the left hand side from the set piece. Quick one taken. Starfelt. In for Hatate. Good. Jota, this is where you do your best work, lad. Just keeping them occupied. It's out wide for Johnston on that right hand side. There's the snapshot across the box, but once again, the Hearts line stays strong. And here we go again. Johnston across the edge of the box. It's Trevelyan, and it's 2-0, boys. It's 2-0. And it's a lovely back heel flick finish for fucking none other than Kyogo. What a goal that is, by the way. I just wrote that camera is way out of position. But perfectly timed comment, Chateau. It's 2-0 with some beautiful football. Although they're going to be asking questions if Johnston's offside, you can already tell. But if that gets disallowed, that will be so goddamn harsh. It is such a lovely finish. Johnston from the throw in, skips past Kingsley, and again, Kingsley gets abused on that side. And a lovely ball across. And I'll tell you what, he's not had a lot of easy chances this game, Kyogo, but that is a fucking finish. And that's 2 games in a row where I'm genuinely taken aback by just the sheer class of a counter-attack there, because that was so beautiful. And the half-time whistle goes there and then. Boys, that is a half. I thought we'd go in 1-0 up and be okay and happy and content with life, but no, instead Kyogo decides right on the stroke at half-time to just one in. We love that. We absolutely love that. That's amazing. Well, you've got to admit, Hearts haven't really done anywhere near as much. I mean, I thought they played better at Celtic Park. I'll be outright honest with you right now. This wasn't the Hearts I was expecting. Although, again, my 3-1 prediction's still pretty much solid, because I'd imagine Robbie Nielsen will be doing something along the lines of screaming and bitching at his players, telling them that they should have done more, but realistically, they haven't really they haven't had the chance to really do much, because anytime they've came into our final third, we've just shut them off and went, "What are you doing? Well, back away, cunt." Oh. My insides do not like me today. I can go back onto the screen. Yeah. Half time in this one, relatively straightforward and simple match for us. I mean, I don't think anyone's put a foot wrong. Like, genuinely from front to back, I do not think there has been a single person that's played under par. I think if there's one player on the pitch that I'd say has been a little quieter than what I maybe thought out of him, Haskabanovic, but even then he's still doing lovely outside cut runs and trying to whip in those kind of overlapping balls. Cream soda that is it, so. Like, as a diabetic, when I found out that these were sugar free, I lost my shit. Because I used to drink these all the time when I was like, well, before I was diagnosed anyway, so I was like, wait a minute, they're sugar free now. Literally Squidward in that one SpongeBob episode. Oh my god, they have it. Can drip. Whoop. No. But realistically, cream soda is just one of the things that help settle my stomach, believe it or not. Unsung hero, it really fucking truly is, calling it. There is not a single drink that I think is more underappreciated in the bars collection than cream soda. Because I get it, it's a weird tasting drink. But it's in the name, it's cream. It's going to taste weird. Imagine Clancy's face is the same as Nielsen's when that second half went in. Do it? Probably. In fact, I think they're probably sitting in like in the locker rooms, and rather than Robbie Nielsen walking in to give the team talk, it's going to be the referees wheeling in the VAR system. Like, right, boys, so here's the blind spots, abuse them. Cream soda's actual class. See, this is what I mean. If I ask anyone outside of Scotland, do you drink Ball's cream soda because it's the best version of cream soda there is, they'll be like, no. I get America has like American cream soda, but let's be real, it's fucking god awful. It's really bad. But for some reason, Scotland just took an American drink and made it 50 times better. Fuck the blank, right? Is this a Jeopardy question? I'm gonna go with SFA. Lock it in for 10, Chief. Went for leaking Kyogo scores my fucking luck. Oh, it wasn't the fact that he just scored, Warlock, it was a fucking calibre of the goal that he scored as well. It was a stunning inverted flick into the net. I mean, if you're watching it on Viaplay, they'll be showing the highlights, more or less, likely once it comes up here. Also, there's, and I never even, oh wait, that's April 19th, I don't even care. I agree, can't get it in here in Ireland, only Ransbury. Oh, fuck off, Raspberry is literally the worst one. I'm diabetic too. Dude, I feel your pain now because, like, before I got diagnosed, I could drink anything, but now it's like, I've got basically all the three things that I can drink okay are all on this table, which is Iron Brew Extra, or just Diet Iron Brew, water, which is down in the little chiller bit down there, in my cream soda. Sure, I'll send us out. Please do, bail that man out. An Irishman should not go without cream soda under any fucking circumstances. If anyone can supply him the goods, make it happen. 100 points to Griffin. I'm a walk listening to here on the radio. How good was the Heart save? Mate, the Heart save was top notch, like genuinely one of the best saves you'll see this season because of the fact that it kind of came from a deflected cross as well, so it made it more difficult for Hart to understand where the touch was going to come from, because Sibic Sibbald, I should say, took a really good touch inside and then just parried it, like just parry shot straight into the bottom left corner. But, well, Pepsi Max as well, yeah, but it's not one that I prefer. I have it in my fridge, I could go and get it if I wanted to, but in fact I have one of the wee bottles, because I always have wee bottles. Aye, case in fucking point actually. Aye, there you go. But there's a very limited amount that you can drink as a diabetic, so my primary source is water, to be fair. Yeah, and as Virgil said, the reason why I don't like Pepsi Max anywhere near as much anyway is because it's very to me. What's happening here then? To be fair, for the first, that's not bad for the first time for it to do it. That's right in the middle of the half. But yeah, we'll do a little sub check and all that good jazz, because again, I'm not expecting this one to pop off, because if I'm not at my best, I'm not expecting the stream to perform at its best, really just that simple. But it would be nice if we made some indents. Oh yeah, I sound way worse than I thought I did. That probably explains a lot. But we're now at 550, so we're halfway to our goal for next month. So if we could hit 600 by the end of this month, then even bigger pock. I feel like such a sellout whenever I have to shell it, but please understand that I have no other choice. It's the only reason I can grow. Let's try this one. Not too bad. Well, everyone that's just vibing or whatever, you're more than welcome to throw in questions on the hoops. I love that none, very appreciated. So they all just died at half time, it seems. You're a wizard, Harry. I'm a what? A wizard? No, I'm not Hagrid. I'm just Harry. No, Harry. You are a wizard. Oh god, you can tell my brain's on cloud 9 a day. Me and my silly little brain cells trying to figure out what I'm doing next. Okay, I think Viaplay may or may not have crashed, because I am not getting any more signals. I have refreshed like 6 times. Scusi? You better start working again right fucking now. I'll be pretty angry. So they won 3-0. Pretty good production, Brian, to be fair. Very solid production. I mean, I said 3-1 at the start. I'm pretty confident in sticking with that, actually. It was phenomenal. Talking about the save, I see. Pepsi Believer holds a special place in my heart. I remember as a wee guy seeing Ronaldo, the fucking real one, or the R9 Ronaldo. In the Pepsi, that. Dude, I always remember growing up, like, do you remember before every World Cup, they would do like if it was Adidas that were like the predominant, but I remember specifically the ones on the build up to Brazil, they did like the thing where they had like the animation, all of the best players in the world at that time, like Zlatan, like Neymar, Ronaldo, Messi, like your usual suspects, and they take on like a team, like robotic versions of themselves, like perfect footballers essentially, and they still find their way to win. Like I remember watching that as a kid, and that really just cemented my love for football. Oh, the red card incoming this half. Now that's a prediction that I'm actually kind of curious about. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you who's been the best player for Hearts. I mean, let's be real, they haven't changed their lineup, which is surprising because in game, pretty sure you can vouch for me for this virtual. It's more or less 5 at the back at most of the times. Like Kingsley covers Rowles and then Rowles drops in there. Smith does the same for Hill, he'll drop in here. So more or less it's like a rotatory 3-5 kind of situation. Like that entire midfield stays the same, but when they drop back to 5, Grant drops here, Halliday drops here, Kieran Moxoglu drops forward, and Mackay kind of just becomes a second striker. If you're not a fan of formations, then, well, that's sorry, I guess. We'll go over the timeline because, yeah. But this is the one thing that I love to see. Oh my god, why does every working class truck in that area have to come through now? But, aye. We've got different assisters and different goal scorers in every stage of the game so far, but that's what I like to see. Quick start, good finish. That's what we need. Just keep that pressure on them from now to the end of the game and everything will be fine. They never used to do those animation, it was the best in the world, NPL, etc, play football in the streets. Well, yeah, no, of course I remember the old ones as well, like, what was it? Was it for the Euros, or was it? No, because it was 2006. It was 2006, but the old adverts where they were running around because it shows like the Brazilian and South American side of things, and like they're all playing in the favela kind of side of things, and then it goes to Europe and it's all of them playing in like classic muddy Sunday league pitches, and then it goes to like it basically goes all over the world and shows where people predominantly play as locals, and then it cuts to the professionals playing on the same pitch, and you're like, that's how you do football adverts. Just to be like, bro, they came for the same place as you, buy our boots and you'll be like them. And it's like, yeah, fair enough, actually. That was a good advert from Pepsi, to be fair. Go to the advert. Is the band Skittles advert or the Iron Brew one? Oh, yeah. The band Skittle advert, is that the one with the guy at the desk that anything he touches turns to Skittles? But I know the Iron Brew one's brilliant as well. It's like, the Fanny one's probably the funniest. It's like, what are you planning to call her? We're planning to call her Fanny. And he's like, and just proceeds to have to done like half a can of Iron Brew to feel alright. Cheers for streaming the match. Oh, that's nice of you. But you don't need to worry about it. Like I said, man, if I'm fit and able, even though I'm not really fit and able right now, I said if I was fit enough to stream the game, I would do my best to do so. So I appreciate that, mate. Little comments like that make it a wee bit more worthwhile. But it's just teasing the European qualifiers for those that are curious. I'll be doing those games as well. Scotland against Cyprus and Scotland against Spain. As long as we can pick up 3 points for those, I'd say that's a pretty good start to the group, although realistically I would like to beat Spain at home because that would just be funny. And it's just going through all of the... I mean, for anyone that is curious, Rangers and Rafe play tomorrow. They kick off 15 minutes later than us tomorrow, actually, but still. Nice stomach, thank you for that. But I'm more curious to see how like Hearts come out and deal with the second. Going for 4. Aye, I like that Renegade. Very bold. Get the second half subs, come on and finish it off. Well, I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, if I was to look at the bench right now, who would I bring on? I would probably give the motherfucker minutes. This was the game where Kobayashi should have started. Bring him on for Starfield at some point, please. Or maybe we'll come on, depending if Kyogo starts the second half as good as he finished the first. Iwata will definitely come onto the pitch based on who's already on it. Maybe Matt O'Reilly will come on for Moy as like a later replacement, if that makes sense. But the rest of the bench is pretty fine. The downfall is that there's not really much that Hearts can do. I mean, besides Cochrane and Forrest, maybe Cammy Devlin, there's not much that they can do coming out of the gate either. So it's more or less just a case of squad depth being OP once again, because we're not starting what I would call our strongest 11, but we're starting a strong enough 11 to win this game more than comfortably. I think that scoreline more than justifies what we've done, because Hearts haven't done enough to justify. They've literally been about a third as good as us, so by that standard they should be like 3-0 down, but they're still playing okay. Casey, hello to a wee hello to Miss Chateau watching Midnight in Ontario. How you doing? Hello. I'll do this whole Zoomy scream. Your husband's a pog human being. You're a pog human being if you're watching as well. Very nice, very cool. Love that. Belter. Oh well, almost as on cue. What is out for the second half? I've just looked and seen that Google has decided to not tell me, which is always nice. Literally a multi-trillion-dollar corporation that can't tell me the basics of what's happening literally 3 miles away from me or something. But Iwata was definitely in full kit there, so I think there's a definite change in maybe for Hatate, because he did look a little bit lethargic, but I wouldn't. Oh wait, is that Kobe? It's Kobayashi! Yes! It is, it's Kobayashi! I was confused, I couldn't see the number, so I'm like, is that Iwata or Kobayashi? It's Kobayashi, he's on, so either Carter, it better not be Carter Vickers. I don't see Starfelt, so I think they've taken Starfelt off. Boys! It's happening. Oh my god, we'll take that, we'll absolutely take that. Hearts will kick off. I'm happier than Larry now because fucking... Oh, there he is, Kobayashi. Wins a header. Give him 10 star skill moves already, man. Oh, he's won another header, make it 20. And he's already played someone offside. Fucking 25 star skill moves it is, man. Jesus Christ. It's just nice to see a different combination at centre back rather than the usual two. I love this. And Kobayashi is a big baller, so big happy with that. Get that bill washed. Cheers, pal, you're brilliant. Oh, no problem at all, Shadow, man. You've been in here a few times and you've been nothing but nice, so absolutely little requests like that. More than fine, mate. Hearts will try and shimmy it, and they do. Probably might have the first chance of the half, actually, and as I say that, Johnston just cripples a man, and the shot comes across from Ginnelli. It doesn't quite go in, but delayed yellow card for Johnston. I think Kingsley's... I don't think he's injured or anything, or was that Carter Vickers just... Well, I thought Johnston started shouting at the ref, but no, Carter Vickers went in the book for that, fair enough. Curious, because he doesn't necessarily win the ball per se. I'm not going to say that he did. Although Kingsley did take quite a hard knock, you could tell by the way he bounced back after Carter Vickers. I believe that's the term that you would call winded as fuck. He looks a bit alright now, he's on his feet at the very least, and we'll be curious, you know. We'll set a goal. If we can gain, like... I mean, what are we on now? Because I'm not going to try and push for, like, 560 or something, because that would be way too cringe. But, like, 555 for the sake of my, you know, OCD. All numbers the same, that'd be kind of cool. Oh, as soon as I say that, Hearts... Well, I was going to say they had a chance to play it in behind, but they just punt it straight into Atati's head. Smith has got the ball high up on the right hand side though. He'll have a set piece throw in. Throws it back to Michael Smith, who in turn just hits the deck. Let's see what the number 7's planning to do. I'll hold them up. Yeah, basically that, mate. You just... That's what the Scottish game is. It's a very physical, very push and pull, tugging, you know, very messy game, let's just say. I mean, there's a video that was made by that Zealand dude where he was talking about like how bad the like time wasting situation is in football, where like apparently less than 60% of any game in the world is played on the pitch, while 40% of it isn't. But in Scottish football, it's more or less half and half. In fact, there's only 3 teams in Scotland that don't have a god awful like time wasting record. Obviously, Celtic are at the top of that list by some distance. You've got Rangers are second, and then believe it or not, Livingston. Apparently, they don't time waste, which is incredible because they're the team I associate with time wasting, but apparently not. There's teams that do it way worse. Good play out from the back. Smith's going to run it on. If another truck drives past my window, I'm going to fucking close it. Oh shit, I thunder it. Every time I turn around. He's kept that in place, should have I? Hearts have still got the ball upside, very deep into a final third, although Taylor's just going to block the initial attempted cross from Smith, so they'll have a throw in from just outside the box. This probably would be the time for them to throw in a long throw. Stomach do not do this shit now, mate. Let's see what Hull's going to do. He's definitely long throwing it, and it goes, but it's not even going to beat the first man. Well, it does beat the first man somehow, actually. Taylor really should have won that, and Hearts do have a half chance. But Halliday just kind of stifles into the side net, if that was even Halliday. No, it wasn't, it was Grant, my apologies. Hart just quickly plays it out, Kobayashi. Just quickly diverts it back to the man in yellow. Hart's going to play it for Carter Vickers, who in turn just plays a nice 1-2 between Johnston and Moy. But in fairness to Hearts, they keep the pressure on and alive, but again Hearts won't win that one. No, they don't. Moy can come forward with it now. What's he going to do? Plays it inside for McGregor. What's his move? Goes forward on the inside. This is where you can do your best work. Jota still galloping down that side. It's a ball towards the back stick, headed up, deflected. No one's got really many options. Taylor's going to lose the ball for Silbold here, and it's a long ball forward, and Hearts are on the chase. Kobayashi puts his hand in front of, might have fuck off, they're actually trying to claim a penalty. Get your fucking ass up off the pitch before I come over there and slap you back down here, you dick. Trying to claim that's a penalty. Get a fucking grip of reality, son. Let's try a bit of Gaelic football, see how many time wasters would last off exactly. But it's an insane, it is a genuinely insane stat. The best league in the world for non-time wasting is the Eredivisie, believe it or not. But then again, that's because they're very similar to, like, they're closer in terms of, you know, bottom teams' value to top teams' value than it is in Scotland. But again, the fact Livingston is one of the few non-time wasting teams is like hearing God's actually the devil. It's just not something you're meant to ever hear. What do you mean Livingston are an attackive side? I've never fucking heard of that concept. Taylor's got it out. Oh fuck, good pass up. Haskabanovic would have shut my mouth and focus on this play. Good ball in behind. Greg Taylor, deflected cross again. That's the second time in about 3 minutes that's happened. A good lovely ball in that just kind of gets last ditch cleared. Back out wide for Johnston on the far right side. Travella across. It's not going to find a body in green and white, but it doesn't quite find a body in maroon either. Goes to the other side. Taylor gets it back from Haskabanovic. His play on and then doesn't continue his run for attack. He's 1-2. So it's going to go out for a throw-in for Clark. Lawrence going out the cup in order. It would be funny as fuck, but let's be real, boys. Although I say that, they did nearly trap up in the last Scottish Cup game, didn't they? It wasn't exactly close. Well, I wouldn't say it was close or anything. It wasn't as a Partick Thistle were brilliant against Rangers, but the game was close. That's all you can say. Yeah. So if Raith Rovers surprise Rangers, it would be funny as fuck. But that would be it would be a good season for the Scottish Cup then, because if you think about it, that would be like what Darvel knocking out Aberdeen and then Raith knocking out Rangers. That's a story and a half. And having two championship or lower sides in the semi-final is actually something that would kind of make me want to watch the rest of the games. We actually like, holy shit. Because obviously, I mean, the way that I'd imagine is that, like, say we get put up against, oh, okay, that's a foul, why? Apparently Greg Taylor touching a man is illegal. It is a contact sport, ref, you do know that, right? Plays an advantage on for that as well. Get a grip, you fucking fanny. Right, there we go. Back towards McGregor. Nice. Finally, we get an advantage from the pulled up. Good. McGregor's took a weird first touch though, and thankfully gathered up. Oh, Johnston, no, son, do not ever do that again. Carter Vickers covers for him. Didn't expect Livingston to be third. Thought Aberdeen. Genuinely, yeah, I thought it would have been Aberdeen or Hearts. Or even Hibs, but apparently it's Celtic, Rangers, Livingston, and then it's Dundee United, then it's Aberdeen, then it was Hibs and Hearts back to back, although I'm not sure if it was Hearts and Hibs or whatever, but they're like glued together. But the most time wasting side in this league, oh fuck, go Jota, spins it, Keel go on the head, oh no, fucking hell, that should have been 3. Jota did so well to get that shot away, and then Kyogo's header was not too far wide either, but just didn't work out. Biggest Sagist. Oh, really good. But the most time wasting team, you won't be surprised to hear it, St Mirren. I've said it every time we've played St Mirren. They do one thing and one thing only, and that's sit in their box. So that honestly doesn't surprise me in the slightest, to be honest. Let's listen and focus. love how there's just 30 people watching a sick dude commentate all football. The internet's a wild thing, but I love it. Taylor, let's see what he's going to do with this from the throw-in. Heads for Hatate, but Hearts have more or less just kind of gone with the all physical approach now. And there's that long ball forward, and they've got all four of the defenders basically trying to chase that for Ginnelly. Hart just says no thank you and punts it in the orbit. We love that. That's what I would like to see more for Hart, just covering out those spaces without rushing out in stupid situations, I guess would be the term for it. Smith with a quick throw and played back to him, and he did really well to actually dink that over Taylor, but Kobayashi and Taylor in turn just put the pressure on. Beautiful challenge for Kobayashi. I honestly thought that was a foul, I'm not going to lie. And then Aaron Moy gets blocked out the way by Beaton, so he can't take the touch, although that's not going to stop McGregor from getting there. And that's a lovely ball in behind. The Jot is there on the chase, but Xander Clark's going to do what Hart did literally a minute ago. Comes out to just collect it, although it's a much more composed pass, and Hearts do have the ball. Just on the inside of their own half though. There's the power of Kobayashi. Yeah, this is why I was saying this was the game to field them in. So it's nice to see him get a whole half of football rather than just like 10-15 minutes off the bench. We just saw Kyogo's back heel, what a pooch. It is a truly superb goal. It's like 2 weeks in a row where like we've scored goals that genuinely just surprise you, because obviously Haskabanovic's last minute, well, I say last minute goal, but we're, you know, fucking comfortable in that game, realistically. But even in the game against Hearts as well, like Haskabanovic scores that goal, and then fast forward a few days and Kyogo's scoring back heels against them for fun. You're just like, these guys are meant to be like, not rivals, but like what Liverpool are to Man United. Like that club that can catch you off guard. Good attempted ball forward, but I don't think any Hearts player was willing to make a run. You can start to see some seats open up, which is kind of depressing, because realistically, if you're a Hearts fan, I understand that you're losing, but the fact that they're already leaving is kind of sad. Haskabanovic is coming off, by the way. He's had a very good performance. Not the best I've seen him, obviously, but he's done what he's needed to do. He's kept the Hearts players busy, but Abada's going to come on, so Jota will switch to the left, Abada will take over the right, and we'll go for it then. Oh guys, nice to see you, mate. That's the Rangers fella back. I'm not feeling too great, and admittedly I've been spewing most of the morning, but I said I was live for this game, so I'm live for this game. But I appreciate you stopping in, Chief. Nice to see you, man. How are you feeling? Oh, Taylor's managed to do well to shimmy that clear, but it's not going to find anyone in a... I love that score. 2-0 when you're not satisfied. That's the fucking hunger this club gives us. Brilliant from Taylor, but brilliant from Grant as well, to be fair. He keeps himself in the challenge and makes sure that it goes out for a Hearts throw and not a Celtic one. It's been a much more impressive opening 15 minutes of the half for Hearts than it was in the first half, which is just the polar opposite of what they did in the last, like in the midweek match. They had a good start to the first half and then faded out for there, and they've done the polar opposite here. Came out and done it in the second half instead. The difference is they've not gotten close to score a goal. You stay then to support your team as a proper fan. Garrett, nailing the fucking money. I've sat at Celtic Park after we got beat by Borussia Mönchengladbach, and I still think maybe that you'd be lucky if 2,000 people had left at full time, because everyone was just like, fair play, he's gave it a good goal. Celtic's winners, I hope you're happy with that, mate. That's the thing, I'm definitely not complaining, although Hearts they really should have shot there. Hatate did so well to get in, like, he threw himself in to block that initial chance. Yeah, it came out to Michael Smith again. It was just very bounce around football. I don't like that. I don't like that in the slightest. Although that's a loose pass for Hearts, although loose touch for McGregor to follow suit. Let's see what happens for here. Ball forward. Headed down, dinked over. Nothing comes of it though. It's a lovely clearance for Carter Vickers, and he's kept it from going out of play as well. So Hearts have all of a sudden been forced to take a man down. That's got to be a fucking either yellow or straight red. It's a yellow card immediately out of the pocket. Abada's gone down, he's holding his hamstring. I think Aska did okay today, looks more explosive when he comes on as a sub. Yeah, he's like a... trying to think a good example for like any other team. Try to think, this is actually very hard to do. I don't know, is there an equivalent? I don't think there is, to be fair. But he's a solid player, Askabanovic. He definitely played like fine. I wouldn't say he was at his best, but he was definitely good enough to justify the praise that he's going to get. Always stayed to the games at the end no matter what. Yeah, if Rangers won or not, that's how you show your true support. Oh! Tell you what, Hearts had a half chance there. Although Hart, minus the S, catches it with no real problem, although it was hit with a lot of power into him. Like Carter Vickers kind of spins the clearance and it just kind of and lands. Abada's fine, Garrett. He just had to take a second to get himself thingy. I think it was just a dead leg situation. Giotta's just spun around his man. Oh, that would have been so fucking sexual. He just sent fucking Smith to the Shadow Realm. Like, Smith literally had 10 minutes to get to the ball, tries to be too clever, Jota gets it, then, like, inside Trivela spins him, beautiful. That's a Cruyff turn. And hits a good snapshot across the keeper, right, towards his near post. It doesn't go anywhere near the near post, that's the side netting, but Jota showing that, yeah, Hearts, you might be grown into the game, but you give the ball away for 1 second. Can you truthfully see the refs sending off a player because of bad challenges to Celtic? I've said it, even the refs are biased as fuck. Yeah, no, the referees are very biased, mate. We've had conversations about them. I did like when I first started streaming, I did a video called So Cool Shit's Over, where I talked about what would probably happen over the course of the season. And about 70% of what I said has happened. Where Rangers will magically get a lot of things, like the way Rangers play makes the stats look worse than what it actually is, because Celtic fans will just go, oh, but they've always got penalties yet they never concede them. It's because of the way Rangers play. Rangers are a very in the box team, so they will get more penalties over the course of the season, but there's always in any game that we play, there's just this, like 1 or 2 decisions that just raise your eyebrow every match. Like, we're so used to it that when it happens, you either have the laugh or get immediately pissed off reaction. And obviously, look, Rangers, they're not in charge of VAR, but again, they could be. I don't fucking know. The SFA are a weird bunch, but at the end of the day, they can't refuse what VAR says. So, and they've had 1 or 2 decisions go against them as well. So it's a case of they need to figure it out, basically. That was an excellent. It was Stockholm. It was genuinely Jota's. Well, we're all playing the way that they need to. Again, Hearts have kind of raised the bar a little bit, but it's like a, you know, like a pole jump kind of bar raise. It's like a couple of inches, nothing too bad. Passed off here. Basically, I get it. I'll be honest, we've had loads of penalties, and I wouldn't say all the penalties, but we've had some slow balls. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go to the Old Firm at the start of the year, that was the game that really cemented why VAR is going to be a problem in this league, because Goldson had a clear and obvious handball, not given, while Sakala's essentially dive. There was contact, but not enough for a man to go to ground. Not if you're a professional athlete that's meant to have muscles about you. He goes down and gets a penalty for essentially fucking nothing, while Goldson literally played goalkeeper and got away with it. And then Rangers fans were like, oh, we should have won that game. And you're like, nah, you still lost 3-2, Chief. That's the way it goes. Kyogo, I want 30 goal this season. To be fair, how many is Kyogo in now? he's probably getting very close to. I can't math, but I know he's probably at least a dozen away by this point, isn't he? Well, to be fair, guys, it's a good way to say it. Look, Celtic have had one or two weird decisions as well. I mean, I remember watching the Morton game, and the first like penalty call that came in that match. You just genuinely, I felt disgusted. Like if I was a Morton fan, I would have been fucking furious with that. But then in the same match, we had a clear and obvious handball disallowed. So you're like, what are the rules? Like the rules change match to match, and I think that's what pisses people off because there's no consistent set rules. Where if Rangers do one thing and Celtic do the same thing, there's two different fucking answers to what happens. And don't get me wrong, most of the time VAR has gotten it right. I'm not going to sit there and say, look, it's a bad thing. It is a good thing to have if it's used by the right people. The fact of the matter is the SFA haven't got anyone that's trained to use the machinery the way it's intended. That's why Willie Collum's currently sitting in here. A known Rangers supporter is sitting in the VAR decision for a Celtic and Hearts Cup match. They need to train new people for it. I've said it since the start. If they do that, I won't worry about it anywhere near as much. I just don't want personally. It's not a machine error, it's human error because the machine does its job. It shows the issue back in real time. But it's the referee that makes the final decision, and that's the thing. If you don't have the right body making the right calls, then yeah, there's going to be some iffy questions asked about them. A lot of players go down like they've been shot but can't expect much else because all European teams do it and die for penalties. Well, that's exactly it. Oh, there might be a chance for us though. Moy, put it into the box. Oh, good. No, I couldn't get it in. Fuck, I thought we had a chance there, although Moy stayed down. He's on his feet now, thankfully. That isn't allowed, I don't agree with you on. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're a pretty straightforward, see it as it is and call it as a situation, I'll sit and say it time and time again. If Rangers win against us at any point, I have never been the fan that goes, they don't deserve it, they don't deserve it, they don't deserve it. I've always gone, fair fucks to them. I just don't want to see the old firm, for instance, get ruined by a refereeing decision rather than like a defensive mistake or a own goal or something, because it just makes you feel that less or that much more out of control, I should say. Kyogo's 20 in the league and 3 in. He's 4 goals away. Fucking hell! I thought he only had like what? I thought he was still in the bracket, say like 20. Jota's played a ball across there, but Michael Smith says no. We'll take a win. Exactly it. Shane, we're absolutely fine. Hearts have officially given up at this point because they're not throwing their bodies anywhere near as much as they were. Like I said to you, they'd started off the half right, but they're doing exactly what they did in the first half of the match in midweek. They've panicked, realised that they're not going to get into those inside spaces without really quick over the tops, but that forces them outside to the wings every time. And if they're getting forced out to the wings every time, then it's easy to defend. Although as soon as I say that, there is a chance, but again, he had no one to cross it to. The overlapping runs are working for Hearts, but when you've got two players that are like, you know, slow as fuck, they're not going to be able to catch up. Gianelli's not that quick. Good ball in behind. Bada shimmies it, keeps it going, although it's well defended by Hearts in fairness there. All three of them stood their ground brilliantly. Can't see us beating Celtic, but we can't just get our act together, and the better team is at the top of the league this season, you can't deny it. Exactly that. I mean, Rangers will bounce back because that's what Rangers do, right? And regardless, I might be a Celtic fan, and yeah, look, Rangers let their club die, but the fact is, you have came back with a vengeance. And even if we do take the whole like prestigious argument, Rangers are a 12, 13, 14-year-old club, whatever argument you want to use, they've still made it to the Europa League final in that time, which makes it that much more impressive. So there are things Rangers are doing right, but they're not getting their transfers wrong. It's basically what happened to Celtic during the Invincible season. We just brought in the wrong people at the wrong time, and it backfired on us massively. But look, the biggest issue for Rangers is because some of their best players are on loan. I was a bit wary about this game, but I would take the whistle now with no injuries. Oh, yeah, there'll probably be a few rotations, Players coming in. There's some players warming up on the touchline as the ball comes in there. Hatate doesn't quite get contact. Loose ball over the top from Hull. The Hearts defender does actually get a header to it. I thought he was going to let that one go, but he didn't. Long ball forward that they'll try and chase, but it's just headed back down by Kobayashi, and they can try and go again. Taylor to McGregor, back to Taylor. Just a simple exchange, 1-2. Way too reasonably agile. I mean, I was about to fucking say, but I come from a predominantly Rangers family, so I've sat and had these conversations with my mum and my brother, and they're very similar in how you think, mate. Like, it's football at the end of the day. It's not life or death. Like, sure, don't get me wrong, I'd be fucking heartbroken if I was to ever witness Celtic lose by any more than 2 goals to Rangers. It hurts. But if Rangers beat us fairly, I'll put my hands up and say fair fucking play to them. When they got to the Europa League final, I went down to my mum's to watch the game with them, and they're all Rangers fans, like I said. But I wasn't there going ha 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 when they lost, although I did buckle out laughing when Ramsey missed that penalty because I literally predicted it would happen. But like, I was like, fair play for getting there, fair play for doing what you do. Like, Celtic wouldn't be as good as they are without Rangers, and Rangers would not be anywhere near as good as they are without Celtic. But one thing that the other club supporters need to realise is that none of the Scottish football leagues would fucking matter without us. Celtic and Rangers carry Scottish football. That's why they're the most dominant teams, because if you hand that money to Livingston, what the fuck do you think they'd do with it? Invest in more plasticky pitch. Well, Halliday's coming off, that's funny. He's done literally nothing. Although I think Forrest in, who's that number 12? I don't know who that number 12 is. There's 3 changes for us actually. Kingsley's off as well. Not sure, is that Devlin or not? No. It might be Atkinson. I'm not sure who came off for Smith there, but I think it's the number 12, and I think that's Atkinson. It is Atkinson, aye. It is. Right, there we go. Forrest is on as well for Hearts, and Cochrane as well. Your heart is red and blue. Well, you can't argue with that, mate. You're entitled to support who you want to support. You know what pissed me off is fighting at the cup game, and why, exactly right. See, that I can agree with you on. There's no need for violence, although there was a need for a half volley on there. There's a deflection off a Moyes shot as well, but again, Celtic more or less just content to take half chances and then step back to cover the spaces. We need the plastic pitches to get the fuck exactly. The fact of the matter is, Celtic and Rangers have too good a fan base to just be like, they're not good, because at the end of the day, you take Celtic and Rangers away, a lot of people in Scotland lose their purpose. Oh, Hearts trying to make something out there. Exactly that, Storeroom, exactly that. Oh, deflected bounce off. Hearts have managed to keep it in play, although Kobayashi says no thank you and just kind of punched that one clear. Don't know who's going to land on, sorry if you heard that little bump, that's the wire. Headed down, that's a really good touch for Kingsley. Oh, not Kingsley, sorry. Brain dried out there, Atkinson. Plays it back. Let's see what he's going to do with this. Yeah, Hearts are definitely wing bound now, because it's another loose pass there. Although, in fairness, that's another loose pass for McGregor. A few little bits and dots around the game now, but everything seems to be closing out relatively fine. Johnston's won it back, see if he can keep the pressure and consistency up. Moy, good. Back towards Johnston. Oh, and again a bad, a lovely shimmy, cuts away 2 of them. And opts to just play it safe back to Captain Cal, who in turn finds Carter Vickers, who in turn finds Johnston. Just playing the good triangle, the old triangle. That's lovely footwork for Moy actually, to keep that under control. Although he's getting closed down by about 3 or 4, hacked over, no foul given, and he stayed down, so I've got to have questions. How then, Rashid? You're winning straight out, I think he's going to keep going. Well, I mean, as things stand, there's still like around, like 14 minutes left in the game, so I don't want to count my, chickens before they hatch. But the way we've played this half, it's just very similar to how we played in the first half of midweek. Not doing too much, but doing more than enough just to remind Hearts that they were the better side. James Forrest's younger brother, Evan Wright. Yeah, Alan Forrest, aye. He is a good wee player as well. Yeah, he genuinely is a good player. I remember him at Livingston. He was that tricky winger that could run on plastic pitches, you know what I mean? Go back to the 90s and before, that players, well, I used to play in real muddy grounds and see players now right pussies that can't play in the mud. I know, unless they're wearing like aerophobic fucking shirts with the aero holes and fancy like sweat prevention shirts and all that. No, I need to wear them. It's like, no offence, right, but 100 years ago, you put on a cotton shirt, went out onto the pitch and came back covered in a whole different fucking element of earth. I'll try to claim handball for that, but no, they're not going to give handball for that. Watch this, it might be 2-2. No. That's not happening. That's not happening. Quarterfinal score. Wait, have I spelled it wrong or something? Oh no, I thought I spelled it wrong. No, panic there. Right then, mud. It's nice to see you. You're running out of face. Moya and Kyogo are off, by the way. O'Reilly and O, as you would expect, are on. No, stop exactly that, Garrett. Another would be the straight to the heart. I mean, to be fair, I think the second before the end of the half was the straight to the heart, because at 1-0 down, you're still in the game. But when 2 goes in, realistically, it's Hearts that have to come out and do pressure. I've just realised why the fuck the entire sun has decided to circumference my window. I'm going to turn this off so it makes the light a little less awful. I miss the way football used to be. It's not like when football was good now, it's all about money. Yeah, it's all marketing. It's a business now. Just like fighting, just like boxing, all of it's just influencer based now, and it just kind of makes you feel less and less hanging about it. That's why I prefer to support my local teams, and my local teams where I'm based, Celtic and Albion Rovers. They're my two. There are teams that I watch from other leagues, but they're not teams I support. You know what I mean? Like, I have love for Borussia Dortmund, I have love for Liverpool, but if you put Celtic up against them, it's not even a debate what colour I'd bleed if you cut me. Well, here's an in-swing up, I think from O'Reilly, although Clark's going to punt it away. That's a fucking shot from Hatate, by the way. From about 30 yards out, he hits it on the half volley, and I tell you what, if Civic wasn't on that line, easy 3-0 goal, and it would have been the goal of the game, and that's with Kyogo's back heel fucking chance included. Yellow cards came out for a Hearts player, I think for Civic on the edge of the box, unless it was Grant that's fouled them, or Atkinson, because there was like 3 or 4 bodies trying to close him down. It's Atkinson that's been booked. Unless it's no, it's just the sun's like came round there, so anytime I look over to see anything, it's just pure light. I can't support Falkirk. Like my local team only support Rangers and Liverpool. Well, I mean, Falkirk's shit, so understandably, I mean, I just have to support Albion Rovers because they're my local club, and I literally, as a baby, I used to stand in the top of the flats to watch the games, so they were like my first love, you know what I mean? But there is a free kick chance here. I'm going to take a second to shut up because this looks good. O'Reilly header! Oh, it is! It's 3! Who scored? I think it's Carter Vickers. It is! It's Carter fucking Vickers! Big CCV, these nuts! Hearts, you have been fucked! Yes! Well, you wanted one for the steak to the heart, mate. Steak to the heart's been delivered. Big fucking cammy boy, exactly it. Virtual, it's a beautiful in-swung ball for O'Reilly. And I'll tell you what, man, there was no way in hell Civic was even going to attempt to get in front of Carter Vickers there, because he was going like a train. Big man deserves that. Good for him. Big man absolutely fucking deserves it. Look at the pure joy in that celebration, by the way. If he tensed up anymore, he'd fucking burst a blood vessel. There's all the Hearts fans leaving. Hey, catches after boys, thank you for coming. Well spent money to watch your team bottle it once again. Oh, it's funny. What a ball, what a header, and as Jurgen Klopp would say, boom. Fucking beautiful, man. Seeing that Lothingo Rose and Bunessa United are the other two local teams. Not true. I mean, I've got teams all around me that are pretty much in every stretch of the division besides the Championship, because there's like around me you've got obviously Clyde, Eridonians, obviously Albion Rovers as well, but like that kind of area, you know what I mean? Rashi's burst into song, we love to see it, happy days, exactly that guy. I mean, we've been fantastic. The new Van Dijk scores. He's definitely turning into it. Definitely turning into it. Punishes Hearts for hacking him down in the first place. Exactly, they've woke him up. Hatate's going to be the last change. That is deserved, to be fair, because the boy's run his heart out, and honestly, I would applaud him. But I'm leaving that to the end of the game, because that's when I usually do it. But Watat is officially on for Rio, for those that don't know. Try to see if there's any way for us to... If there's any way they can take it off us. No, I don't think there would be any way under any circumstance, to be fair. It was a perfect ball in, and it was definitely not offside, but they'll try and thing it out from the back. We're just going to keep ourselves stifled now. It's awkward. Hearts will come forward. Skips past one, it's out wide. Janelli's on the run. Doesn't find anyone though. Johnston can't do much with that though, to be fair. Oh, close. Well, I'm about a minute or so behind me, so I'm not really... can't wait for Robin Nielsen. Can't wait for Robin Nielsen post-match interview. He'll just take out a gun and kill himself. Oh, good head off the Hearts though. Made a chance there, but it's not going to do anything. But I guarantee he'll just like walk up to the camera, and then he'll just be like, aye, Celtic didn't deserve anything for this game. I'm absolutely fucking raging in life and all that good jazz. I'm going to go into the dressing room and start swinging. Then it comes out in the news that like Janelli or someone's like put him in a bin. Like literally, like fuck up mate, picked him up, put him in bin, just walked away. That'd been funny. Ball forward deflection, doesn't find anyone though, it's out wide. What's happening here? McGregor's got way more space than I thought he would at this stage in the game. They've opened themselves up way too quick. McGregor! Oh! It's out for another corner, I believe. No, goal kick. I thought that was a shot off AO that deflected. That's bullshit. Rio was top class again today. Yeah, genuinely he would be one of my pick for man of the match, but again, you could take your pick of the midfielders or the attackers, or realistically even the defenders. You know, I mean, Carter Vickers was fantastic today. Clean sheet, scores a goal, demonic presence. Can't argue with it. Hearts have been very minimalistically impacted today. They have made more chances this half. You will give them credit where it's due. They have played better, but Celtic haven't really had to step up their game. If anything, they've let it go a little bit just to kind of suck Hearts in, if that makes sense, bait them out and then counter-attack them, and again, O'Neill and put a good chance in to make it 4. That's why Rangers and Celtic are the biggest clubs in Scotland, no matter what gets said. The SPFL can't survive without the Old Firm. Exactly. I mean, British football as a whole, wouldn't be as good without the Old Firm. The Old Firm is the first, like, derby that properly justified fan hatred. Oh, Hearts did actually carve out a good header there. Cochrane managed to get up above everyone else, and he did header. It wasn't anywhere near the target. Carter Vickers, Bellingham, Goldson and Sands and Barisic. Sands doesn't even play for Rangers anymore. That's how shit he is. But I do agree, Carter Vickers is easily one of the best centre-backs in the league, if not the, like, what am I saying? He is the best centre-back in the league. Fuck am I saying? Kobayashi second, Starfelt third, and then you can list them off as need be. If Rangers and Celtic leave this league, it will crumble. Yeah, basically, that's why there's a lot of like laws in place for like, especially when like the Super League was a thing. We were offered a spot in it, and Celtic and Rangers immediately went, "No, what the fuck do you mean?" It's like, we don't want to be the relegation, like the team that gets sat in the bottom of the table when you have to play against teams like Juventus and Bayern Munich and Real Madrid every week. We wouldn't float as well then. But I love domestic football because you do get the occasional weird result where, like, I mean, this season, for instance, St Mirren won. And since that point, Celtic have went, nope. They've basically just set FIFA, let it put on the fucking sliders and set the difficulty to amateur, and they've just kicked on for there. Maybe Lineker maybe Lineker comes to Scott Sport. That would be fucking brilliant, by the way. But I don't see that happening either, to be honest. Laugh right in that Royal well met, can't it? A ball, Bollocks, I was about to say, like Michael Ballack, and then I realised that was Bollocks you're trying to say. The Wasteler has fallen. Oh, nothing brings me more joy than seeing like ex-Rangers players struggle to figure out where they are. Ooh. I'll tell you what, Hearts are still pressing. They're not willing to let this go without a fight. I think they're trying to get at least one for the sake of the fans that have turned up. Because, I mean, in fairness, the Hearts fans turned up in voice today. Don't get me wrong, there's like 4% of them left. But at the very start, they were there at least, and I suppose that counts for something. Couldn't be me, though. If I was wasting 30 quid to come and watch this game, I would have fucking sat my ass down and bitterly took it. Get your money's worth, lads, man. Even scream abuse at the players doesn't matter, but you get something out of it. Starfelt's I'm up at, fair enough actually, but I like Starfelt in most of it. I just don't like how he is with first touches at times. Best defender obviously has to be Alistair Johnston. No, I'm not talking about like outright defenders, Chief. If you're going with fallbacks, then no, Carter Vickers is still the best defender in the league for me. No questions asked, sorry. I know that you love Johnston, and Johnston would probably, where would he rank? I'd say maybe 3rd or 4th. Maybe 4th. Because you have to give, obviously, as much as you hate to admit it, Tavernier is a really good right back. Ooh. There we go, here's a good chance to attack. Ho's played that forward brilliantly, and Abada's swept it in behind. Those on the counter here. What's he going to do? Not much with it, although he does try and take a shot. It's going to deflect for Abada to get under control though. Shot across, and tell you what, clock hard to see it. Starfelt here is mind blown. Yeah, it's because it's the same kind of issue with Hart. Like, you know, he's a good enough player to play in the team, but he's not what you would call an outright starting centre back. He's a solid player. I love Starfelt, but I think he just takes too many weird first touches, and I think anyone that's watched it, you can agree with me. Third not yeah, that must use pen versus in Levy. Yeah, well. Again, I'm not basing it off a goal scoring, I'm just basing it off of how they actually like defend. But you have to give Tavernier a lot of respect because he's been with Rangers for the better part of since they were since they were basically demoted. So you have to be like tip your hat to him and be like, fair enough, lad, you earned your place on the podium. But give Johnston a year or two of development and he'll be the best like fullback in probably Britain. I say that sarcastically, but you know what I mean. He'll be very good. Arguably better than Tavernier. If he develops the way that other players have under Postecoglou, undoubtedly so. Because look at how fast players like Taylor and obviously players like Moy and even Jota to an extent, since we just developed it. Davies is the top scorer at the right back position, isn't he? Yeah, he's a very, very solid player in that sense. You'll give him credit where it's due. He always has a dodgy touch during the game. Yeah, like Starfelt's got this like uncanny ability to be like Beckenbauer at the best of times, but like fucking Barack Obama at the worst. Doesn't know shit about defence. Like, it's his first touch that lets him down. If he works on that, genuinely could be a starter. Starfelt, I'm up at your slaughter and Hart the other day. You're a Celtic supporter. I'm very much sure, mate. I'm very much sure. I mean, I don't have a signed Dembele shot on the wall for no reason, Chief. Okay, Ian, very nice. Feel free to unsubscribe and fuck off then, lad. I'm not going to sit there and say, look, I'm engaging with my chat, lad. That's insane. Fair enough, you were doing this last stream as well, weren't you? If you're going to act like a dick, you'll be treated like one and you will be banned. Simple as that. In fact, any of the mods in chat, please do me a solid and time him out for me. See if he learns a lesson. And that was a really solid chance as well. There should be a good chance coming up for here. O'Reilly's got it from the inside left. Saying I'm not a Celtic supporter when I've streamed every game since September. Get that grab, mate. O'Reilly's got it out right. Let's see what he does. Atati's going to play it back. Let's see what the options are. Carter Vickers really should have played that a bit quicker. Does eventually get it across to his man. Let's see what happens here. Out wide, overlapping run. Doesn't take it, which actually works out perfectly because it's opened up space on that right hand side. But again, that's back-to-back passes that really should have came off. Just didn't opt to do them. No, Taylor's got it back. Carter Vickers is waiting on Kobayashi's overlap. There it's there. Although Johnston's got 2 or 3 hot bodies trying to close him down. Long ball goes for it. Doesn't find it though. Although Abada, fucking fair play lad, keeps it. Or is that all? I think it was all in the overlap that could have. That was. I fucked him, man. Yeah, thank you, Virtual. You put it spot on in the head, basically. You're the photo, exactly. I mean, no offence, if I was a Rangers fan, do you think I'd be fucking sitting here watching every single minute of Celtic fucking footage since the middle of the goddamn season? That is genuinely the most baffling thing I've heard. Like, call me a cunt, call me a dick, call me whatever, but do not call me a non-Celtic fan. That is fucking pathetic. Like I said 5 minutes ago, you cut me, I fucking bleed green and white. Do not insult me like that again. That is genuinely fucking annoying. I told I'm not a Rangers supporter because I'm an honest guy. You just get idiots. Exactly what I call them, mediocre fans, because their entire perception of supporting a club is be a dick to the other supporter, be a dick to the other rival team. Not always the case. I want to support my players, so when they play shit, I'll tell them they're playing shit. What the fuck are you meant to do when they're playing bad? Say, oh, even though we're winning every game, like, that's a fucking plastic fan right there, if anything. That tells you everything you need to fucking know. That's actually pissed me off. But I'm going to simmer down. It is officially full time though. I'm going to need to stand up and do the clap. I'm going to need to stand up and do the clap with boys. I do again apologise for all that shit though. I don't like to bring negativity on the stream, so let's bring it back. I might be dying, but boys, victory. Yes! That actually helped to do. Ow. We will absolutely pop off. This is just a really stupid angle, and it's like I'm looking over someone's car window. Like, excuse me, sir. But yeah, very good one, boys. Very good one. Kyogo's dancing with the crowd. You'll have to see that. Everything's good in life again. Aye, a true supporter is always about his team, although the winner was exactly it. Makes another comeback with his green tinted goggles on. I don't mind people having green tinted goggles, but don't fucking take them off and then throw them throw them about trying to hit people, you know what I mean? Like, dude, that genuinely baffles me. Like I said, I've got no issues with Celtic and always be respectful of all team supporters, because you are a human being with morals, mate. You haven't been grown up with the mindset of violence is everything, and I genuinely respect that. Great show, son. Lucky charm until next time. I appreciate that, James. That's very, very sweet of you. Well, I love that. But that is officially full time in this game, so if you're here just to see the result, it's on that side of the screen, and you need to continuously remember that it's a reversed fucking camera. Great one. Great one. Carfield Celtic Supporters Club. Get it started right fucking now. But then again, no one on the pitch played like bad today. No one really had a horrible game. No one played out their skin. No one was man of the match. I think it's just a classic universal team effort. Although if there was someone that I would have to pick, I would give it to Carter Vickers, just because it's nice to see the boy get a goal and his celebration brought joy to my face. So absolutely love it. Aye, you have to take your stand. If they play shit, they play shit. And the demo was a Celtic fan. Exactly, I got it. You have to say it as it is at times, and I don't mind, again, people saying, look, oh, I disagree with you, or I think this player's better than this player, because that's what football's about. It's about having those debates. But when, again, what were the comments that were even said? Because it was just, yeah, I mean, getting called a specky diddy for saying Starfield could be better is a bit, yeah. They were genuinely, I mean, that's the thing that's amazing about it, is the fact we were playing amazing, we're 3-0 up, and there's people trying to, like, take digs at me for that, I guess. I mean, fair enough. You think man of the match should be a Tatty? I genuinely think so. But for me, Carter Vickers just deserves it that wee bit more. I think if Hatate scored that shot, that you know what one I'm talking about, Virtual, the long range shot for the deflected like cross, that went in easy, because that would have been goal of the season, probably goal of the year, like no question at all. I appreciate that, Dean. Just seeing your comment there. Sorry I couldn't see it there. It just popped up. He'll love his stream. Keep up, bud. Appreciate that, man. Keep the faith, bro. Oh, my faith is well and truly in stock, lad. My faith is well and truly just there. Doesn't matter if people say that I'm not a Celtic fan. I know what happens if someone says that to my face. Cheers for the stream again. The streak continues. Exactly it, Chief. Exactly it. We keep it going. Everything's fine. Obviously, we'll be live. What is the next game? I do believe, if my brain is correct, it's Hibernian next week, isn't it? So I will be live on this channel for that match as well. It is, yeah, Celtic v Hibernian. So take notes of your dates, put them in your little diaries so you know when to come back, because I'll be live around, as usual, about 10-15 minutes before kick-off to give you the lineups and all that good jazz. Also, if you want to bring people into the stream so they can say hello, that would be more than appreciated. Well, there's people shouting outside the flat. I'll never say anything like that to anything. It's a sport for crying out loud. Some people need to get a grip. Exactly that. It's genuinely just baffling at times. But again, you're positively cancelled all of that shit out there, lads. So to anyone that's still in the chat and vibing, genuinely, much love to you. The one I had put in the bottom corner, but there's not been a keeper in his road. Confidence, solid, the pressure. Exactly. Your defence is solid, the pressure's off, and I think that's what's kind of happened today, because Hearts again started with a little bit of momentum, but they were cut out within 30 seconds. Then we take the ball at the other end of the park. We obviously get the opening goal, which, yeah, I understand it. It makes it a little bit less interesting as a neutral, but as a Celtic fan, that is one of the... That's not the right game. That's the right game. That's one of the rare sights to see as a Celtic fan, and a very early goal. Because if you go through any of the last 10-15 games, how many goals have we scored inside 10 minutes? But, yeah, looking forward to Nelson's post-match pressure. He'll do the standard shit, mate. You know what he'll do? He'll complain about something, blame it on it. Thanks again, man. Oh, no problem at all, Garrett. If you're off, you enjoy the rest of your day. Can I be promoted? Wait, Alistair Johnston fan. Casual Alistair Johnston enjoyer. It was just you, big man, clown emojis. Fair enough, maybe it is, but again, I'm entitled to say my piece, lad. Moy's a funny fucker, and he's so laid back. Mate, he's Australian. Australian people just have the natural urge to just be constant chads. I'm listening to him right now. He's just like, the smile on his face tells you everything you need to know. I'm trying to Dean. I need you to put me my Rangers top on as a display picture. Oh god. To be fair, I might just for a laugh get a Lenny my brother's Rangers shirt and start the next fucking stream with it on and fucking start singing. What songs did they sing? I don't even know. Racism songs, I'd imagine. I don't know, don't care. Very hell to go by a man that's missing his hair. That's a bar, get it in his fucking song, get it in his eulogy. Maybe you should just hang about Safeco sites. Nah, because I don't want to get stage 6 cancelled. I'd rather not. Do the fucking ES. I did I not? Although maybe I was sick. Right, I'll do it one more time, fuck it. There's still like 29 people in here, so. Double down. Fucking yes! There we go. In another world, I was definitely a warrior. I've killed many people with that scream. All fans are welcome here. Exactly it, man. The yeah, and your sarcasm breaks no bounds. I love it. But yeah, can I show this? Do you think I'd get copyrighted if I showed this? Because I really want to show you the Kyogo goal, but the last time I did this, I had to spend 4.5 hours editing out like every little bit of gameplay that I showed because it got copyright striked by like 16 different companies. What's the tactic? Oh no, I didn't. Right, no, right, we're not going to do that. What I'll do is I'll go off screen, then pull up the clip, and then show you the 7 seconds of footage, because I won't get copyrighted for that now. That is a tactic. Let's go. Oh. I can't play audio either, I just realised that's a whole thing. Let us commence forth. Alrighty. So boys, I'm going to have to speedrun show you this, but I do want to... I know it's not live, so, but it's oh, I guess it would be under fair use because it's not live now, innit? But there's a football sounds like pure said the army and that was great, like exactly that. But Starfield a Muppet voice of football. Fair enough. Right. Well, this is the goal. I can show you the clip and then I'll have to back off it straight away, but that was the goal. Kyogo, back heel. Kind of this is the angle that shows you it best. Boom. I have to do that now. Hope you enjoyed. That's the goal. I can't risk getting making life much worse for myself by doing anything like that. But I'd say it was a pretty good one. Stay until Ross Nielsen interview. It's going to be a laugh. Actually, I've muted, but I might as well unmute just to see if there's anything that he says. In fact, what I'll do is because I need to take my headphones off anyway, so I can see what's good. I'll just keep one ear out so I can hear what's being said for him. Starfield is mincing if you can't see that. Oh god. It's just happening again. Ian, there's a way to, there's a way to argue with people. Just up there. I don't think they're lad, but you're entitled to your opinion. G dog, that's a good name though. And who replaces Starfield? Kobayashi. Did you not see him play the last like 40 minutes with absolutely no problems whatsoever? And that's why we also have like, a lot of money in transfer fees as well that we can use in the summer. That's literally the plan. I don't understand how to explain this in a more efficient way. Man, it must have probably been hot for that save. To be fair, actually, yeah. He's not mincing him up at virtual, fair enough, I think you want to say. Like, yeah, I'm in the middle of the fence where I think Starfield is a good enough player, but I don't think he is first team calibre for years upon years like Carter Vickers is. Carter Vickers is what you would call in America a franchise player, and that's what I see, right? If I look at a Celtic squad, I'd say about 8 or 9 of them are franchise level players, right? Players that you know you can rely on for years. Starfield just isn't one of those players though. I love Starfield. I think he's got the right attitude to defending. I think he's got the right ability to go forward and cause problems. But when you pass the ball to him, it's a 50-50 of what's going to happen. If he takes a really good touch and plays the ball up like he should do, or if he panics and gives the ball away. Rangers are better than Celtic. I mean, I do appreciate your fact of delirium, but it's not quite true, is it? So, exactly, guys. Starfield's all over the place. He's either Cruyff or he isn't present. Well, that's the thing, but that's what's, again, it comes with just time. If you give him a few minutes, or a few minutes I should say, like a few more like months of development, and more or less just first control, because that is his baseline issue. You take away his first control, he's insanely good. what's happening here? Correct, seen a guy twice and knows everything about him. As I said loudly, clickbait Charlie. Don't know what's clickbait about it, but twice I've seen Kobayashi play in Japan. I was the one here in Kaka could buy anyone telling this, yeah. To be fair, that is true. Even before Kobayashi stepped foot in the pitch, Watchalong was one of the first people to say that. Again, last season when we brought in Maeda, I know who he was, but that was for, again, Japanese national matches. Just seen Moyes' goal and his finish. Yeah, none of the goals were bad today, lads. That's the thing. Like, every part of the game today we actually did good. I'm not sure. I don't think he's ruining it, Ian. Come on, man. What ruins it is calling it out every 15 seconds. See if it's something that you're not comfortable with, understand, just don't respond to them then. But yeah, I've been sub since the start of the season. Interesting. I only started streaming since the... In fact, when did I start streaming? I can probably get the exact game. Because it was against Hibs a long ass time ago. And it was after Leipzig. Yeah, there it is. This was the first game I streamed. 15th of October. That's when my career kicked off, right? That's when I started. Fast forward a bunch of time. Still haven't seen us lose domestically. I've seen us lose once on stream. And that was obviously to... to be fair, that's a good one with a lot of numbers. To be fair, virtually, if your predictions are that good, please, what are the actual lot of numbers? I need money. I need lots of it now. But that's a very fair response to... Opinions are just opinions, lads. They're not facts, so don't take them to heart. Still waiting to see Robbie Nielsen come on and see what's said here, man. I like what Craig Gordon said there, though, to be fair. I think that's a very good point. It's like, look, Hearts are still trying to figure themselves out as well, which is fair enough, actually, because, again, you've seen flashes of actually really good Joe Hart save on the telly, then watching it on the corner of my eye for when it comes up. But it was genuinely... anyone that hasn't seen it, please go and find that Hart save, or at least wait for the highlights to come out so that you can see it. Because it's genuinely one of the best saves of the season, no questions about it. Alright, note them down, Ian. Note them down. They're the numbers. And the scenes when they're actually the numbers as well, by the way. Nothing to do with the opinions. My gripe was with you timing me out for all. I wish I could time certain cunts out. Well, yeah, but I'm only timing you out because you're getting aggressive with the chat, mate. Like, see if your opinion is just directly to me or whatever, cool. But again, I've got him as a mod for a reason. The dude's been more than fair enough in chat. He's very controversial with his opinions, I'll give you that, because he's said some things that I even don't agree with. But that's the point. You don't take it to heart and you just go, we're not getting beat 1-0 by Bournemouth, or we're getting... No. What do you mean Liverpool are losing? What do you mean Liverpool are losing? Liverpool can't be losing. They just beat... Why are we that? Liverpool. That's how you spell it now. Go. Wow. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Wow. Boys, yous needed that win. That was for top 4, you fucking idiots. Interesting. Well, again, my main team won, so... But fucking hell, Liverpool, that's actually baffling. What are the other scores, just in general? No, there's no other games. But how do you go for this? How do you go from that to this? It's not as if they even played a bad side. I mean, fair enough, I guess. I guess a lot of teams will need to slip up today, I'd imagine, for anyone to get back into it. That is insane. Better than Courtois v Liverpool. True, actually, yeah. Not after Hampden, you were going to get beaten out. Yeah, that is typical Liverpool in a fucking nutshell. It's full time, by the way. They have actually lost. That's insane. Although, in fairness, this is probably the tightest the Premier League has been in what, like 4 or 5 seasons. Although I'm saying that, I mean, between what bottom place and top, there's what 21 points in it. So I'm saying that like there's a 7 game swing. Although the table looks so much weirder than I thought, because you would think Chelsea would be higher up, you'd think Liverpool would be top 4, and they realistically should have got it, because if they'd won against Bournemouth today. Although, in fairness to Bournemouth, they're now out the relegation zone. Leeds, Everton and Southampton are back into it, and Southampton surprised me because they're actually okay. But you know James Ward-Prowse is going to get absolutely stifled out of that team when the time comes if they get relegated. Salah missed a penalty, fuck that. There's no need to getting aggressive with Charles for no reaction. And they're being brand new with everyone else. Case in point, your entitled opinions and all that good shit, just don't take them to heart, and more importantly, don't take them out on other people. I'm the one that's streaming direct your hatred towards me. I can handle it. Which I wouldn't say that Salah's having a bad season, but he's still an amazing player. Yeah, no, I mean, he's still a good player, but he's not in prime years anymore. Salah, when he was at his best for Liverpool, was in his prime years. I mean, Salah, what is he, age is he now? He's like, is he in his early 30s or is it late 20s? I know he's in that bracket. I don't know if he's like 29 or 31 or something, but you know he's in that age range. Let's see what's here now. That's a good player, but this world-class stuff, there's no way. No, he's definitely not Ballon d'Or material or anything. I mean, I always thought Mane was a better player than Salah. Just, again, because I have a preferred style of how a winger plays, and I guess that makes sense, to be fair. I mean, Salah's not, I mean, he's not even close with the golden boot. I mean, Haaland's running away with that right now, isn't he? He's got like 28 or something. The closest person to him after that's probably got less than like 15, 16, but I mean, Salah by this point usually has around 10 or 15, doesn't he? And he's not been anywhere near that form. I just bumped that mic, sorry if you heard that. Aye, see, that's why I'm so surprised, because you and Ian were actually, or depending on. Alright, okay. Ian did. This is what I'm saying. Right, this is the quite literally bottom line. Do that shit again, you will be banned. Straight up. I don't like that. You can have an opinion on the game, the club, or the stream, but not other people in the chat. No one's taking digs at you. No one's trying to come after you. We're simply saying be nice. That's it. I must continue at Liverpool. Well, to be fair, everyone must see Coutinho at Liverpool. Liverpool had a really weird system because, again, Coutinho flopped once he left, but then other players took off. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Mane's went to Bayern and he's just hit the ground running there, hasn't he? I mean, already Champions League. Alright, that was something outside my window. Like, they've already got a Champions League quarter-final. They've already got themselves into a good position in the league. Realistically, they're going to win that for the 11th time in a row, and people call the Scottish League a dead league. Fair enough, I guess, but Mbappe's even mentioned in the Golden Boot alongside Haaland this season, it's a fix. Yeah, no, they're damn right. 100% Haaland deserves it. Although a lot of people will probably, like, if there's a Ballon d'Or shout or whatever for at least how things are going this season so far, there's not really any outright brilliant players besides Haaland and Mbappe. Maybe a couple of iffy players here and there. Again, if you go to Manchester City, I guess you have De Bruyne, don't you? He's really decent. I mean, if you go across to France, you've got obviously Messi and Mbappe and Neymar, although Neymar's injured right now with his ankle things. Yeah. Mods are just given little permit rules, Ian. All they do, like, they can't change anything, they can only time people out or whatever, and that's it. That's the extent. You think Rashford should be in the running? Nah. I get it, don't get me wrong, but if you're going by that fucking logic, then Almiron hit a bit of form halfway through the season where he was scoring like 5 or 6 games in a row. Where's his Ballon d'Or then? Golden boot or all that shit. But then again, Rashford is like it depends on how much Ten Hag uses him from now to the end of the season. Coutinho had the players around him that worked well for him. That's why he was good at Liverpool. Since he left, the players didn't want to work with him. Yeah, because at Liverpool he was like the centrifuge, the wee prodigy child that could kind of just fit in and do what was necessary. But I think when he went to Barcelona, a lot of people realised that he wasn't going to fit in with that system, and obviously with the way that the Barca played at that particular point in time, they weren't smart financially or business-wise either, I should say, because obviously everyone knows what happened to Barcelona after that. They had to end up paying a lot of money and losing a lot of their players. And again, I don't know how they've got a good as squad as they do right now, Barcelona, but they have done a lot of weird shit to have the squad that they do. That's you with your Red Devil specs on. I can understand that, to be fair, but time's out for now. Nah, like, it's not going to, again, we won't get into it. I understand where you're coming from, and don't get me wrong, I do, but it's just a etiquette thing, right? Aye, there's not really much more else to go on and cover. I mean, is there any other decent games on for the rest of the day? I mean, Leicester and Chelsea's probably the most exciting out of those. Although Man United do have the advantage of playing Southampton tomorrow, so that's bottom of the table, if I remember right, which I think it is, and it's bottom of the table, Southampton. So if Man United beat them, then there's always a possibility, you know, it's definitely on. I think the Premiership has changed a lot this season. Look at Man City, they're not playing the best this season either. But then again, that always happens when you bring in new faces. It doesn't matter how good your team is, if you introduce new faces to your team and then lose players halfway through the season as well, like Man City have, obviously with players like Cancelo and all that, it makes it harder for them to just gel. Because Zinchenko was brilliant for City, but obviously since he's left to go to Arsenal, and Arsenal have obviously used that leverage to kind of keep themselves alive. I mean, I thought Arsenal by now would have lost the lead to Man City. I thought Man City would have just strolled through the second half of the season, but apparently not. I mean, Newcastle's doing well. I mean, Brighton's even doing well. I mean, I'm going to get the league table and I'll pull it up for you, because there's like a few. Like, you know what I mean? Even Fulham, who everyone thought was just going straight back down, is somehow languishing in 7th. Don't get me wrong, you've still got 12 games left to play, and that's a lot of points. You know, there's 36 points, which is, you know, what Chelsea haven't even got that by now. So that's still a massive swing in table form and all that good jazz. But when you look at it, you wouldn't expect some teams to be where they are. You don't expect Chelsea to be there. But again, they've had the same problem as Man City, except on a much bigger scale. They bought so many players that it's impossible to get them to gel out the gate. It's going to take time before, you know, Chelsea start to rally off titles, or, you know, even just consistent form. Tottenham kind of fell off a little bit here and there. Liverpool obviously had a really good run of form and then just decided for whatever reason to lose to Bournemouth, which, I mean, fair enough, I guess. But Arsenal have been the more consistent team, and I mean, they did what Liverpool basically couldn't. They put in a champions performance against Bournemouth last week, where they scored in the last minute to kind of say, look, we're in this race for a reason. You can tell Liverpool couldn't care less if they lost that game after winning 7-0 against Man United. That tells you everything, really. Newcastle started falling away again. Yeah, I mean, they were in top 3 for... Well, they were in top 3 until December, weren't they? And then they've just slowly started to fizzle out. But that's what you would call the mid-season crash. There's a few teams going through it right now, Palace as well, and they're playing City tonight, so obviously I think the top 2 won't really change very much from now to the end of the season, but I'm more curious about these three because all of them are inconsistent and then immediately brilliant again and then immediately inconsistent again. So it's like that battle is going to be interesting. But the fact of the matter is, Newcastle are still in the hunt for Champions League spots. Technically, Fulham and Brighton and Brentford even are too. I mean, if Brentford managed to pull this out the hat and get Champions League football, you would honestly say fair fucks to them because they've played well enough to deserve it. You hope Crystal Palace go down. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm not too far off of it, although it would take a lot, I'd imagine, for now at the end of the season. They only need to win, what, 3-4 more games? It's doable, plus they do have a games in hand, but Brighton have the best chance at surprising people because they've only played 23 of their games. So they've still got 3 games in hand over Fulham, who are only a point ahead of them. So if they take 9 points, they immediately shoot up to Man United, Tottenham position. It won't happen because I think they play like 1 or 2 of the good teams in that run as well. But I think Liverpool win the Premiership next season. We'll be able to put 10 in the odds and about 12 to 1, if not 20 to 1. So you're backing the horse here. Yeah, I'm more in virtuals probably. I hope I get top 3 next season. I'll eat my shoes. I think this season was a rebuild for Liverpool as well, obviously, because they brought in new players. You've lost players like Mane and that as well. So whenever you bring in someone like Nunes and that, Rangers and Celtic both get into the Champions League and both do better. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That's the minimum expectation we'll have for them from now to the end of the season. Is can, like, well, not the end of the season, but the start of next season, I should say, is can Rangers qualify for Europe if they finish second? And if they do, what can Celtic and Rangers do in the groups? Because it was a bit of a disappointment this season, I'm not going to lie, but again, it's a rebuild. Liverpool can still move up a few positions. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The way that things stand right now, there's not much of a sway in it. I mean, United know that they have a game in hand. They want to make it work. There's some people heading back for the game, I'd imagine. But Liverpool just need to kind of stable that ship. You know, even if you're not losing games, but you're just picking up points like draws. Because if you converted a few of these losses into draws, it'd still be comfortably in between Tottenham and Man United, and that's top 4, which is what Liverpool are basically fighting out for right now. If they get it, fair enough, but I don't see it happening if they're planning to do what they just did. Because you can't do that and then do this. And then they've got Madrid next and then Fulham, although that's postponed. So the next game after that is Man City, then it's Chelsea, and then it's Arsenal. So their entire run from now until basically the midway point of April are all what you would consider top calibre teams. So it's going to be a hard one if Liverpool wants to get top 4 this season. If it's doable, I honestly want to see it happen. It'd be nice. Because if you have my honest opinion, I don't think Tottenham deserve Champions League football based on how they've played this season. Nielsen is depressed. Regardless of that 7-0 based and Nunes is still shite, yeah. I'll fucking feel you there. Yeah, we'll do a little searching, all that good jazz, because that's what we like to do here. So we started today on, what was it, 5-4-3 or something, 5-4-3. So yeah, I mean we kept an even 550. I'm pretty fucking content with that. I think Liverpool will finish 5th. So you're thinking, like, I mean, what is 5th? Is that, well, Europa League isn't it? But I didn't want to click on them. They've got a much harder run out than the rest of the teams above them, that's for damn well sure. I mean, City's probably got a much easier run, I'd imagine, than Southampton, Leicester, Brighton. They're much easier teams. What are Arsenal's top 3 run, or next 3 run, I should say, after? Yeah, Palace, Leeds, and then obviously the clash with Liverpool, but after that West Ham, who are all technically bottom half teams. And then obviously Tottenham, easier run as well. Southampton, Brighton and Everton, the only real challenge is Brighton. And then with Man United, well, they have a slightly harder run, admittedly, but Newcastle, Brentford and Everton. So, I mean, Newcastle and Brentford are difficult, admittedly, but Everton's not. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, but I'm going to need to pull up the song because I need to get prepared to boost. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, as expected, it wasn't a stream that popped off or anything, but then again, I wasn't exactly feeling my fittest, but I promise you'll hopefully be recovered and ready to go for next week. It's a pretty big game against Hibernian, and I'll actually pull that up one more time so that you can see. But we'll give you one last look at the table. I love how we're put up with all the best teams in the world. There's your table. Good to see, isn't it? Good to see. Obviously, I think. Yeah, well, they've got their game tomorrow, so that's interesting. But there's your table. I always like to look at these, even if it's a cup match. I still find it funny to do it anyway. But we're also in the semi-finals of a cup, so that's cool. There's no Google thing to show you, so table it is. Works out better than anything anyway, because it shows that we're still very much the better team. But yeah, the next game will beat that one. Interesting. But yeah, keep a note of the date and stuff, because I'll be live about 10 minutes before that game starts. However, I now need to do my thing, so thank you very much for watching. Thank you for coming along and tuning in, doing all that good jazz. I appreciate it. I love all the support. I love all of the appreciation that you have shown. Thank you for coming in. I always love that stuff. A good victory, a good win for us in every circumstance. We did what was necessary. Everything's good in life. I can go and sleep and probably spew, but I will be good because we've won. Fifth, well yeah, I'd say fourth now, I'd say maybe. But I'm going to have to bail for now. I very much appreciate your support. Thank you for all of the jazz. But Celtic are the best club in the world. Catch you after.